not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Chris, wasn't ready for that. Is that a better reaction, or the one you said did your mom have to pull over when driving yesterday? Hearing you describe Malik Monk dunking on Wembanyama, and then
she said that wasn't the thing that got her. It was me describing him as sliding down a pole.
Yeah, and it wasn't to me. It wasn't. He couldn't go straight down.
No, you had to go in a circle.
Oh, welcome in on the Friday edition of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. No Carmichael Dave today, but he will be back with us on Monday. Christopher Lott is here. I am here. Hey, I'm here. And we got a big show because we get to talk about the Sacramento Kings and a victory.
Let's kick it.
Acting like it's a rare thing. It's not. They win more than they lose. Last night, I can say I thought that was a very entertaining game. A little stressful at the end. And, I think it's all of this kind of becomes what camp are you from? Was last night like an unacceptable win? I thought the Spurs played really well. I thought the Kings played well.
I can accept that one.
I can accept it too. I've said there's games sometimes when you're there, you get a feel, you get a vibe. And maybe I go, I never thought they were going to lose. No, I did actually at one point. I didn't for the longest time. Spurs got that lead late. On the end, won by Wembanyama. I think it was tied when they go to the timeout. He makes the free throw. I believe it was a Kings miss. And then when Devin Vassell hit that lean-in kind of tough three to go up 4, and there's about 2.5 to go or so, I thought, oh, man, this would be a bad one. Just based on who they're playing, where the sense of urgency, what's going on. I didn't think they played poorly. So that's why I go at the end, they didn't beat the Spurs. It wasn't easy. They didn't beat them comfortably, I should say. Certainly wasn't easy, but it was a win. And it didn't, to me, fall in that line. A win is a win. I thought they played well. I mean, there's a lot of good things in the game. Spurs were good. Spurs had a good game, but Sacramento got through it. So get through that game. Beam is lit, even though if you're in the arena, premature beam. Yeah, we had early beaming. A little excited beam, I think.
Was it premature?
It was.
Kings won.
True. No, I mean, 2 things happened. One, late in the game, Malik's at the line. I don't know. The Kings they haven't put it away, and Light the Beam chance started.
I want to say they're up 3.
Yeah, and he's even like quiet. Mike Brown, like he doesn't just do like the quiet. He's like, oh, come on. Like he was stop. Like don't do that. People stop quickly. Makes it. Then it's a quick, miss by the Spurs, light up, and then it was on. But not only that premature, when actually it was Kevin Herter, our guy, getting ready to light the beam, and he's kind of gathered there. G-Man's talking to Keegan Murray. The beam went off. And it was you kind of heard because we didn't do the countdown and all that kind of stuff. But
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
That happens sometimes.
The beam was on a break, had been storing things up, and was a little excited. But it was good to see. It was definitely good to see. We got a jam-packed show today. We got lots to cover, obviously, with the Sacramento Kings and the victory. We'll look ahead to the Kings and the Clippers on Sunday. We'll look back at our predictions from yesterday. We'll have some for this weekend as well. We have some of our usual suspects leading off at 3 for Madness. We'll do some standings watch, the relevance of last night, what it did for the Kings. Also, why tonight might not be the best night for the Sacramento Kings. We'll explain that. I know they don't play, and sometimes when you don't play, you get a lot of benefit. Well, doesn't look promising, at least tonight. We'll explain that a little bit later. Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, one of them, will be joining us today at 9 o'clock. And at the end of the show, Styles and Watkins will step in. We got another round of not only celebrity birthdays, but we got Friday fun and games. So we've got a big show, and we look forward to it over the next few hours here. Driving in today, normal routine. I don't know what time you officially arrived today, Chris, but usually it's Pat, Tom, Cody, Chris, Dave, and I. That's it. That's all that's here in the morning. Obviously, Dave is off. But when I pulled in, it's very noticeable that, Tom from Pat, Tom, and Cody's down the hall, and he likes to fish. No problem with that. He's towing his boat today, and he is way far out into the parking lot. Like, you can get around him, but this is easy when there's not that many cars. And he's probably fortunate today's a Friday where not as many people come in.
I hope everyone has to come in today.
I know, for some reason there's like a staff beat. Like, it will really be almost like Tetris trying to get by him. I mean, I actually looked at his the parking is fine, but he could have gone back about another 10 feet. He's towing a boat. So his boat is down in a little ramp that would be considered out of the way, but he's not all the way back towards the garage. And so the boat, then his truck, and he basically makes you have to drive by him in the parking lanes.
Also, we've got a huge garage.
We do have a huge garage, and now that our side gate isn't working, and I don't know if Tom knows that, like, he could actually back up against that.
Yeah. Do a better job.
Yeah,
Tom.
Come on, Tom. Pat would have it perfect. Cody it'd be perfect. Tom,
you know what? I think that they would take the extra step of not bringing their boat in today.
You know what? We have a street too. South
we do.
Yeah. Tom, though, did show us a pretty funny video the other day where
of his basketball skills.
Yes. You and I have had I would say the luxury and the joy of playing basketball with Tom. He's a treat to play basketball with. But
he's the only one that gets literally everyone on the floor laughing.
Yes, he's fun to play with for many reasons.
Opponents, teammates,
yes,
referees.
Yeah, fans. He's like a must-watch player, which is rare. There's not a lot of them, and it's for different reasons. But what I love is, so he still plays pickup basketball, and that's awesome. I love that. And he plays at a health club in Rockland or Roseville area. And he had a shot that he made that was obviously he wanted to show us that was going to be pretty unique. So I didn't know what it was. It was going to be a great shot, obviously, or a blooper or something. We didn't know what we were going to be looking at. But I think what was more impressive was the fact that he emailed the corporate office, because they have like indoor probably cameras for safety and protection, see if anybody's fighting or looting or doing whatever. And they sent him the video. And so he showed it to us. I didn't know what we were going to expect, but the best way to describe it, Tom was in the corner, not quite the complete corner, but on the baseline corner of the three-point line and trapped. They were playing 21, and he had at least one defender on him, and he couldn't go anywhere. So the logical thing is, you know what? I'm going to turn my back to the basket, facing the wall, away from my defender, and just two-hand heave over the head. Nothing but net.
Disgusting.
Nothing but net. Do you think if Tom was squared up and facing the basket, he makes
no chance in hell? Absolutely zero.
Yeah. Maybe that's how he parked.
I would give it a 30% chance he makes it with no one in front of him.
That's pretty high.
Nobody's in front of him.
Still pretty high.
Okay. I'll tell him.
Yeah, 30%. But he made it. Nothing but net. Got the video. Showed us. That was fun.
If he takes 10 shots from that spot with nobody in front of him,
3 of 10.
You think he's making less than 3 of 10?
Well, you said no chance on him being wide open.
No, I said I'd give him a 30% chance.
No, early. Okay, so 3 of 10. That's probably the number, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Because, I mean, honestly, I think if he did it once, he might make 2. He might make 5 another time, but he's around that 3 range. Yeah.
You've got me defending Tom.
Which you don't like to do.
Which I do not like to do.
I saw this yesterday and made me think of you because I was, what was I watching yesterday in the afternoon? Oh, I watched, I'm a big fan of the show Abbott Elementary, and it was on maybe Wednesday. And so watched the replay off a DVR yesterday, but during the show, you could fast forward to it, but I saw something with Jimmy Kimmel, and I go, oh wait, the Oscars are here, and it was advertisement for that, and I know it's award season, so I hadn't even looked. I don't. Do you know what the Oscar nominations are for Best Picture, or roughly? Because
no.
I want to see if I keep up what I would say would be my kind of streak. Aren't there now 10 generally
something
nominated?
like that?
Because in the past, when there were 5, I usually had seen 1. And now that there's 10, I usually have seen 1 to 2. So I'm going to guess. I don't even know what the nominations are. Probably Oppenheimer, I'm guessing, but I don't know the rest. I'm guessing I've seen 2. If there's 10 and if there's 5, I bet I've seen 1. Let's go on each. If there's 5, how many do you think you've seen? Because I think you will see close to all of them.
No.
Oh, really?
I've seen.
And you
if
don't
there's
know what
5, like, yeah. If there's 5, maybe 2. If there's 10, maybe 3.
Okay, so I hadn't looked. I didn't want to look. I'm going to bring up the nominations. This probably should have done with our, I feel like our resident movie expert, but when we had Sean Cunningham on yesterday.
Oh, yeah. He's probably seen all of them.
I think he usually does, because there's a lot of times I'll just randomly in the summertime, it's a weeknight, let's watch something. Oh, let me text Sean. He'll give me a good movie recommendation. He's usually pretty good at that.
My source in Indianapolis has seen all of them.
So you know that, but you don't know what the movies are?
Nope.
Or some of them? All right, let me see how I'm going to do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there is 10. Okay. So I'm guessing my average is generally 2, so I'm less than Tom from an open 3 in the corner. And what's your guess on what you've seen out of
2.
10? 2 as well?
It's probably Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Because is Barbie nominated? Because I think you're going to be higher than 2. That's just my guess. I feel like you see a lot of movies. All right, first one, American Fiction. I do want to see that, but I have not seen it.
Nope.
Anatomy of a Fall. I've heard that's good, but not seen it. Barbie, I actually saw it last weekend. So 1. Oh, wow, I'm at 2, The Holdovers.
Never saw it.
Paul Giamatti and
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, saw that.
Okay.
So I think I'm at 3.
So we're at
It gotta
2,
be a
2.
3.
Maestro. I don't even know what that is.
That's the one on Netflix with
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Is he a music guy, obviously? Like
I don't know. There was controversy with it because he plays a Jewish man with a larger nose, and they make like a comically large nose for him, and it's just like, ugh.
Okay. So we're each at 2. Oppenheimer, you're at 3. Past Lives.
Nope.
Poor Things.
Nope.
I would have thought you've seen. I know that's a
Because it's weird.
yes, exactly. You knew why. And The Zone of Interest.
Nope.
Have you even heard of that?
Who's in it?
All it says is James Wilson, producer.
Oh, James Dubb.
J Dub. Let me look this up. The Zone of Interest. Oh, on the picture it shows a flower. That's trouble.
Oh yeah, I do want to see this one.
What is it about?
It's weird. I've only seen like the 15-second trailer that you see on YouTube sometimes.
Well, it falls in line of movies I generally. It looks like a period piece to me. Certain time, yeah, I don't know. I would say of the movies of the 10, I have no idea what's supposed to win. I do want to see American Fiction. I actually do want to see Anatomy of a Fall. I have seen the trailer for that. That looks really good. I've seen Barbie. I told you The Holdovers. I liked Barbie better. The Holdovers was fine. Heard Killers of the Flower Moon was good. You saw that? Isn't that really long?
Yeah, that's really good though.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. What was the one you just? Oh, Holdovers. You said it's okay. Like best movie of the year.
Not to me, but I'm never like a lot of times when the movie does win, and if I have seen it, I'm like, it was okay. Yeah. So of the list, to me, I'm really only interested in seeing Anatomy of a Fall. And American Fiction. Well,
I don't want to see Oppenheimer.
Not really. I mean, I would see it, but I'm not seeking it. Yeah.
It's on Peacock.
Okay. Barbie's more my speed. Barbie was fun. I like fun. Fun. And we're going to have some fun today. When we come back, leading off, we'll talk about the Kings and their victory over the Spurs, that and so much more in Leading Off here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Trying to win. And Fox comes up with a steal. Took it away. That looked like an automatic 2 on the backdoor cut and a perfectly placed assist pass. But De'Aaron Fox said not so fast. And he comes up with the deflection. Here's Fox with a pull-up 17-footer. He's got the bucket. Kings with 9 unanswered points. 30 seconds to go.
That's the great G-Man, Gary Gerald, on the call last night as the Kings finished with their best foot forward, 11-2 run after they were down 4 late. They defeat the Spurs, 4 players with 20 or more in the victory. Sometimes when you, just as we exist, as we move along, as we do things, you don't know what you do or you don't realize unless someone points it out. But every once in a while, you'll find out you do something and you just realize it yourself. I realized this yesterday. And it's so funny because I actually heard it in the clip, and it takes a trained ear. But Chris, I do this weird thing now at Kings games. Remember, like when there was a time I was in the studio, the other studio over there, and for whatever reason I was holding the phone and like some, for those on YouTube, I was like leaning back, my arm, the way I would describe it, my left arm over the top of my head and holding the phone on the other ear, like over the. It was really looked weird. And I never thought I had done that, but then I caught myself doing that multiple times. You caught me, you're like, what are you doing?
I think I sent a picture to you.
Yeah.
And
I
said,
don't really
what are you doing?
And then I think I did it again. I'm like, oh, I do that. What is this?
I think I saw you do it a couple of times, and then I took a picture, and I'm like, why do you do this?
And I'm like, I don't even think I guess apparently I do that. I don't know. And I don't think I do it a ton, but maybe I do. But so I wasn't observing that.
And it wasn't even like I was calling it out. It was more of just like,
a little weird.
Why is this something that you do?
So I realized I do this during Kings games. Like technically we're working. We're not supposed to cheer. Of course I want the Kings to win. So I could do this either when I'm angry with the Kings or happy. I'm not clapping, but I'll do if I'm mad, like, oh, and I'll like punch my hand so it makes an audible noise, or a good play, like, a couple of them. So hear the beginning of this clip again. This is when Fox, I think they technically called it a block, but it looked more like a steal. I think G-Man calls it a steal, but he's registered as a block, but really helped save the game. I think you'll hear I heard it there. That's why I knew. But I've caught myself going, yeah, I do that. All right, let's see if you guys can hear it.
Trying to win. And Fox comes up with a steal. Took it away. That looked like an automatic 2 on the back door.
It's quick. So if you hear that during broadcast, that's either me happy or me upset. And sometimes, my mic generally is on. I've done the, you got to mute yourself. I mean, this is G-Man's call. And instead, there it was. Making my, I need to figure out a way, Chris, to do that while holding the phone over the top of my ear. Kings get the win. We're going to talk a lot about this today. And really, it needed to be a win. I thought a lot of guys played well. The one thing, too, and I'd be curious if anybody was at the game. I'd love to hear from you on the text line, certainly on the phone lines if you'd like, and on our YouTube chat. I felt from the get-go, I don't know any other way to really qualify this or quantify it, but I thought the Kings were I thought there was an intensity to the game from the get-go. And I know they've said, hey, look, we're now in playoff mode the rest of the way. I think this is going to be healthy and good for the team. But from the opening tip, like Sabonis is going against Wembanyama. He's going to lose the tip. He made every effort to win the tip, and they got the ball. There was loose balls, 50-50 balls they were getting to. There was just an aggression from the jump. And I thought the Kings set that tone early. The Spurs then matched it, and we were on. I mean, especially on the heels of what we just saw in the All-Star game. I mean, it's easy to see more effort than that, but I thought it was palpable. I really did. And they need to do that more often. And I know that the buzzword always, they didn't play hard, the effort. It was ramped up, and it felt a little bit closer to a playoff type intensity, that sense of urgency, which this team is going to need more of as we continue to go forward. All right, let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
The Hoosiers handing Iowa its 4th loss of the season, 3rd in conference play. Now moving to 22-4 on the season, keeping that home record at perfection, 14-0. Terry Morton and the Hoosiers getting it done on this Thursday evening.
That was a women's college basketball last night. College basketball's phenom is Caitlin Clark. They're number 4, and they got punked last night at number 14, Indiana, 86-69. Now, truth be told, I did not see the game, was working the Kings game, and all I read about was they kind of kept Caitlin Clark under control. She really struggled. So I saw her final stat line. I went, wait, what? Well, okay, you go efficiency. She was 8 of 26 and 3 of 16 from 3. She ended with 24, 10, and 9. But they lost, which, as every team's now starting to get ramped up for the NCAA tournament. So a tough loss for Iowa. Caitlin Clark continues to add to her resume, though.
I think she only needs 75 more to match Pistol Pete.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
With, I think, about 5 left, 4 to 5 to go.
Yeah.
It's in the bag. It's in the bag. It's in the game. All right, let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
The Tigers' son, Charlie Woods. Well, he played the pre-qualifier this morning to try to secure a spot in the Cognizant Classic next week. Palm Beach National. Well, he didn't make it. He shot at 16 over, 86, par 70. He carded at 12 on the par 4 7th hole. So little Charlie didn't make Monday's qualifying round.
Yeah, he went for it. We talked about him yesterday. That would have been a great story. A 12? 8 over on one hole? So when you use the hand wedge, foot wedge, throw it, cheat, pick up, something. No. Good for Charlie, giving it an effort to attempt. I mean, still shot an 86, my goodness. But the 12 did him in. He had, I think, a par to start, a couple of bogeys, no birdies on his card, but the 12 did him in. I mean, obviously that did. He'll keep trying in his quest to ultimately follow in his father's footsteps. All right, for us, we're going to look around the NBA last night. The Kings obviously played. We're going to get into that. But some of the other games, there's a lot of games last night. Kings got some help, not so much help in other situations as well. But the Thunder made a statement. Nikola Jokic had a triple-double of all triple-doubles. We'll discuss that as we go around the NBA as we continue here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like FlexSteel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
I haven't been this excited about a deal in a long time. Right now, you can save $18,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesels. This thing can get up to 28 miles per gallon on the highway, and it's the perfect combination of off-road fun and work truck. Plus, it's the #1 new quality vehicle among midsize trucks, according to J.D. Power.
And you're selling them with an $18,000 discount? That seems a little crazy.
Well, we do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
There's no better time to take advantage of this savings at Hoblet. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings, selection, and no surprise hidden fees.
$18,000 total net savings after $11,096 factory rebates and $6,904 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association. Qualify 5 with this net savings. Temple VIN 553-385. See dealer for details.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
So the Kings are in a different situation than they were a year ago. We're going to hear some reaction to that. And I'm going to tell you why later I think this is good for Sacramento. Yeah, they're still in 8th. They won last night. But they're in a different mode, and I think this is a good thing for this team. That sense of urgency they played with last night, it's got to stay there. Look, the Spurs were worst record of the West. They proved to be very, very tough to defeat, and there are more difficult games than that ahead starting Sunday. I mean, at the Clippers. Clippers do play tonight in Memphis, but the Kings, I was looking at that, just the next 4 road games for the Kings, they don't have as many left. They're down to 10 road games to go. Or 11 road games to go, excuse me. But the next 4 road games specifically for Sacramento, you've got the Clippers on Sunday, and they're not 4 in a row like this, but the Clippers Sunday, Denver, Minnesota, then the Lakers. That's just their next 4 road games. Now, in between, you got home games with Miami and Chicago, kind of intermixed there. But after that, the Kings will only have 7 road games to go. So, and that's going to come in the form of 2 trips, a 3-game trip out east to Toronto, Washington, Orlando, and a 4-game trip basically out east as well, New York, Boston, Brooklyn, and they close it out with OKC. That's it. Those are their 7 road games coming up by the end of, this 4-game road kind of games with 2 home games in them. Wednesday, this will finish Wednesday, March 6th, a week from Wednesday. They'll have done that part. And then it'll be more favorable. But what position will the Kings be in? And if you look at what happened besides the Kings win last night, there's some really good games, some good performances around the NBA. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets needed to win. They went into the All-Star break losing 3 consecutive games. And so the champs responded out of the break. I knew Michael Malone would have them ready to go. And Nikola Jokic had a triple-double, and not your standard triple-double. It was one with 15, 15, 15 plus on perfect shooting. So he was 10 for 10, had 21 points, 19 rebounds, and 15 assists for the front runner for the MVP. Again, Denver won that one 130-110. Also last night around the Western Conference, we talked about this game yesterday a little bit on the show on the difficulty of what would we root for in a couple of these games, one of them being the Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. I was rooting for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, if the Kings won, which they did, and the Mavericks lost, Sacramento would have leapfrogged them. So logically, a lot of people are like, why would you want Dallas to lose? I have more fear personally in the Phoenix Suns than the Dallas Mavericks. That's me. I could be wrong on that assessment. The Kings have played the Suns well. The Kings have played the Mavericks well. I just think when all is right for each team, I think the Phoenix Suns are a bit better, not much. Dallas's additions may make my opinion change, but I didn't mind seeing Phoenix pick up a loss. It didn't necessarily help the Kings catch Phoenix anymore. Got brought them within a half game of them, and they're now tied with the Dallas Mavericks. So it's just making it a little bit more crowded. But I didn't mind seeing that. Luka had a big night. Kyrie Irving had a big night. Those two guys combined for 70 points as Dallas beat the Phoenix Suns 123-113. There's always been a little something, too, in that matchup with Luka and Booker. Those guys do not like each other. And I'm all right with that. That's fun to watch, especially from when it's not regarding the Kings, something else around the league, kind of a little mini feud to follow. A team I still think doesn't get enough attention in the West, much like we feel that here in Sacramento with the Kings. I think the Pelicans. It's a good team. We know here how much of a problem they've been for Sacramento, but they had no issue yesterday beating the Rockets. And so they get to 34-22 and kind of keep their standing in that crowded tier. There's 3 tiers in the West. That top 4, that next group, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then right now 9 and 10. In that top tier, though, we had 2 teams play each other, with the Clippers taking on the Thunder. And I thought OKC made a heck of a statement yesterday. Going into that game, I thought the Clippers would win. OKC did, and OKC did comfortably, 129-107. Kawhi Leonard did play, so he was there, but SGA had 31. Thunder are a team that I'm not the biggest believer on, but maybe I need to start becoming one because, look, you keep playing this many games. They're 38-17. I mean, my goodness, having a tremendous year. Kings have been able to take care of him twice, nearly beat him a third time. I think the matchup is good, or at least is proved to be good. But the Thunder are a good team and tough at home. Kings still face them another time. And then the other one in the West that we were kind of keeping our eye on last night while the Kings were playing was that tier right behind Sacramento, and 2 teams that I think you always kind of have to be aware of based on the way the media portrays them, based on what they've done in the past, and based on who's on their roster. I mean, the Warriors have proven to the Kings last year in the first round and to others for years that they know how to win postseason series. They just kind of got to get there. They've gone through their struggles and their hurdles, their obstacles, everything a lot of teams go through in the regular season. And they've had quite a bit. A lot of that this is a team more than any that I've seen change their lineup. And it's been a proven winning team over the years, but in recent times, we've seen them move Wiggins to the bench. We had that time early on where Kuminga was, basically so upset, seemed like, was he going to be demanding a trade? And then he's been starting to flourish. Chris Paul's injuries, he's still not recovered. Draymond's incident. And now they're slowly starting to put it all together and getting really good play from some of their other pieces. And they defeated the Lakers, the LeBron-less Lakers, 128-110. And so that one was another one where you're going, well, what would be better for the Sacramento Kings? The Lakers were technically closer to the Kings. The Warriors have been on a hard charge. The Warriors really are playing a lot better here. And so I think you always have to look up. That's what you're chasing if you're the Sacramento Kings. But you realize now that there are people right behind you, and people with pretty good track records in LeBron and the Lakers, making the conference finals a year ago, and you know LeBron's capable. Like, you get them in a series, I don't think he's ever easy to knock out. And then the Warriors with Steph Curry. I mean, when you have generational talent, elite players that can lift your team and really can turn it to another level. I mean, we saw the Kings, I think, go to another level in the postseason last year. But when it mattered most in Game 7, there was Steph Curry scoring 50 at Golden One Center. So the standings are going to be something we're going to be doing here on a night-to-night basis, and we'll kind of do a little deeper dive into that coming up in a few segments. But if you go around the NBA last night on the results, Steph ended up with a big night. Had, I think, 25 in the first half, ended up cruising to an easy 32. We mentioned Luka's big 41-point night. Also, if we want to include the Eastern Conference, the Magic had surprised the Cavs. Cavs played without Donovan Mitchell last night, but it was Mo Wagner, not Franz Wagner, was really the difference in that one. He came off the bench. Tyrese Halliburton, big game out of the All-Star break. The high-scoring Pacers destroyed the Pistons. Tyrese had 25 and 13 assists. The Knicks, kind of been that team I've been watching closer and closer. I like what they're putting together as they defeated the Philadelphia 76ers, as Brunson continued to play well, and just they're fitting in all their new pieces. And I'm anxious to see the Knicks. The Kings still play the Knicks 2 times. They haven't even played them once. That's the only team in the league they haven't faced yet. So they go to New York. New York still comes here. And the front runner got yet another win, the Boston Celtics, 129-112 in Chicago. They're now 44-12. And again, Boston, I think when you look at all the teams, record shows it. I think they have the least amount of flaws to their roster. The only issue I really have for them, so they've got star power, they've got versatility in their lineups and switchability. They defend. They certainly can score. They're a good shooting team, great home court, experience. I would say just depth and how much of that would be a factor. But that top, again, starting Tatum, Porzingis, Holiday, White, and Brown is so good. They added Tillman. They still have Horford. Pritchard's been really nice for them. Wish they had maybe one other perimeter player, I guess, off the bench. But, I mean, now I feel like I'm nitpicking. That team is really complete. They shoot the ball well. They move the ball well. And when you consistently get 3 to 4 guys scoring 20 or more, which they did again last night, what do they have? 28 for White, 25 for Tatum, 21 for Brown. That makes Boston certainly a handful. So that's what it looked like last night around the NBA. What was it like for the Kings last night? Well, the first look at the Kings and Spurs, we'll do that, kind of a recap of last night's game, some thoughts on Victor Wembanyama, and we'll hear from Keegan Murray with the G-Man. That's all coming up right here on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
All right, we continue here on Sactown Sports. Later in the show, your chance to win tickets to see Hannibal Buress, our final one. It was so great to see Jess come through yesterday. She was fired up. Fired up to win tickets to see Hannibal Buress, but it'll be your opportunity a little bit later in the show. So really happy for her, one of our regulars and faithfuls. Some of you we got a bunch of you already here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. We appreciate it. Makes me feel good. But you want to make me feel good. And thank you, really, truly, thank you to all of you that take your time to listen to the show all the way through, parts of it whenever you do. Back on replay, it does mean a lot to us getting good feedback. And we'll be back fully staffed next week when Dave is back with us. Last night, though, the Sacramento Kings.
I wish you weren't a liar.
I'm not a liar. I did do the drop at home. I almost called you. What was it yesterday, Chris? I was making lunch, a little tuna sandwich, and got just some of the, I don't know, tuna water / kind of on my hand. I'm like, gross.
Gross.
It's exactly what I said at my house. I mean, just in the same tone. I'm like, just, gross.
It's become like a Pavlovian
100%
response because whenever I hear, I always say gross.
because it fits. It just feels good. I'm trying to get my notes here from last night's game because I wrote a couple of notes down. There we go. That's from the box score. Yep. All right. So last night, Sacramento got it done, defeated the San Antonio Spurs. And for me, one of the things I was really excited about first off was the Sacramento Kings getting the win. But then I wanted to see Victor Wembanyama and what he would look like. How impressive would it be? I mean, just all of it. And he's phenomenal in a lot of different ways. And, one of the things that I left with that game thinking the Spurs are struggling now as far as the win total. You better get your licks in now. He is so gifted, and I wouldn't even say he's raw. He's just not all the way there yet, and just needs more seasoning like any rookie. I mean, Keegan's better this year in a lot of elements to his game. His defense last night was unbelievable, his intensity. But Fox is better as he's gone on. Domantas Sabonis, everybody gets better. More time, more hours, more work spent. He's going to polish his game. And he actually almost hit a very unique stat line yesterday. We marvel at what Domantas Sabonis does every night. I just mentioned in the last segment, Nikola Jokic's unique triple-double where he had 15, 15, 15 plus basically in every category, but didn't miss a shot. I think that's happened just a handful of times. Well, triple-doubles are rare. Quadruple-doubles and are very rare. But another stat line that doesn't happen that often in the NBA that's rarely talked about is the 5x5 game. And basically what that means in the 5, what would be considered main categories, points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals, getting 5 or more. Now, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists may not amaze you, but 5 steals and 5 blocks. There's guys that can get 5 blocks. Maybe there's guys that can get 5 steals. But to get both of those, along with the points, the rebounds, and assists, it's very, very rare. The last time it happened in the league actually happened at Golden One Center. And it was 2019 when Jusuf Nurkic did it. Against the Kings, he went for 24 points, 23 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks, and 5 steals. Before that, Anthony Davis did it in 2018. Let me see, since 2000, it has happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Since 2000. We can make it 10 times since 95 because the person that did it in 95, Vlade Divac. 19, 12, 8, 5, and 5. Jamal Tinsley has done it. That's amazing for guard. Andre Kirilenko twice. 3 times make it. Marcus Camby, Nicholas Batum, Draymond Green, AD, and Jusuf Nurkic. But before that, it really, in the history of the league, since they were keeping track of this really, since 1978, I can add another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 21 times since 1978 as a 5x5 game happened. Here's Victor Wembanyama's stat line last night. The one thing he was not great at was his efficiency. He was 8 of 21, a little early on, I thought. Very shot happy. 1 of 6 from 3. But we can forget all those numbers and see what he did on the 5x5. 19 points, 13 rebounds. He missed it on assists with 4, but did have 5 steals and 5 blocks. He's great. He's fun to watch. He's going to get a lot better. He's going to be a problem. And I'm glad the Kings got through him twice so far. They'll face him another time, and he will be at Golden One Center in a couple of weeks. But just a unique talent. And the Spurs, they're not there by any means, but Jeremy Sohan, he plays well. Vassell is really nice. Keldon Johnson is a guy I know a lot of Kings fans wanted to get and maybe trade for. Pop's got something cooking. If they have a good offseason, draft well, it's not going to happen overnight, but this is the process. This is what they're going through to get through that. As far as the game goes itself, I thought the Kings were, like I said from the get-go, aggressive, a sense of urgency, played well, shared the ball. Malik was fantastic. Chris Duarte came in and contributed. But I liked a lot of guys play. Keegan Murray did his thing again, continues to defend. And at times, I said it yesterday, how when we played the clip about what Mike Brown said he has to go through as a second-year pro, who he has to guard, the expectations he's asked for from this team, being a starter on a playoff team last year, trying to be a starter on a playoff team this year, an important piece. And last night during the game, he was getting reps from Keldon Johnson to Devin Vassell. There was a couple of switch outs where he had to guard Victor Wembanyama. And Keegan was intense, I thought. I thought there was just a bounce and an energy to him. And the late game highlight, the lob to him to really help secure kind of the run that the Kings were on, that was so loud in Golden One Center. And so that intensity, that just passion that Keegan played with, well, it doesn't really come over on the radio when he's talking to the G-Man, but those two did discuss the win last night. Here's the G-Man with Keegan Murray.
Keegan's got the headset on now. Keegan, what was the difference in the final couple of moments after San Antonio got that 4-point lead?
Just win the last 2:30. In the timeout, we were tied, and we knew it was winning time and just needed to win the last 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the significance of the last games, the last 28 of the regular season, starting with tonight. But how difficult is it to execute rather than rely on talk?
I mean, every team's difficult each night. You're playing against the top 450 in the world, so to be able to come out, execute against any team we play is big for us, and we have the ultimate confidence in our team. So
Kevin Herter is going to light the beam inside here, and there'll be a lot of noise, and I hope that you can still hear us okay as we look forward to that particular moment. How do you gauge the sense of urgency for the Kings in this tough Western Conference?
I mean, I think we're 9 games above 500,
Yep.
So that just shows the depth of this conference. I mean, last year was a different story, and this year you just got to win more games. So that's our big focus. We know we're playing good basketball right now, so we just have to keep it going.
Well, and you're going to have to keep playing good basketball virtually every time you step on the floor. I mean, it's going to be a real gauntlet to run here over the remaining weeks of the season. How comfortable did you feel after the All-Star break that was a little shorter for you because of playing in the Rising Stars game in Indy?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing basketball, so you never know how many times you're able to go to All-Star weekend. So to be able to just be there and represent Sacramento is big for me and the organization.
As the beam is lit, I just want to ask you one final question. We mentioned the short break for you. How do you feel physically?
I mean, I'm fine. Anytime I can go on the court, I just give all I can give, and whether I'm hurt, whether I'm banged up, whatever it is, I just try and give 100%.
And we appreciate that. Thanks so much, Keegan.
Yep, take care.
All right.
All right, Keegan Murray, his final stat line again: 16 points, 4 rebounds, tough defense, and yeah, he is a little banged up. I think a lot of people are. You've got to play through it if you're out there, if you're committing. I mean, talk about a tone set yesterday. Doubtful at this time yesterday was Domantas Sabonis. He had missed the previous 2 days of workouts. He did go through the morning shoot around. To me, I found that encouraging. He was then upgraded to questionable. When I got to the game yesterday to watch him actually go through his pregame warmups, I'm like, well, it sure looks like he's going to give it a go. And then you see he's in the starting lineup, and he was great. But it did take a collective effort. De'Aaron Fox in the fourth quarter was terrific. And then, of course, Kevin Herter. That was great to see. Malik Monk, Chris Duarte, who I mentioned. So I've said this before. When you start getting 4 or 5 Sacramento Kings playing what we would call playing well in a game, a good game, however you want to define it, that's when they can win. That's what they need to do. It can't just be a Fox and Sabonis show. It can't be a one-person show if it's any of those guys. They need a group. And you're not, I had a couple people I ran into, Harrison Barnes wasn't that great. You can't, one, they didn't play him a ton. And I thought there was a little bit of when the Kings lost the lead in the end of the game, I thought, man, why is Monk not on the floor? I mean, at this point, Herter had been good all game. So the candidates you would take out would be Herter or Barnes, right? If you want to put Monk in there, because you're going to leave Keegan no matter what, and Fox and Sabonis. And so they left Herter in, took Barnes out and put Monk back in, and that's the group that finished the game 11-2. And I just thought that was the right decision then. Thought maybe they waited a bit long on that. But, there's other games. It doesn't mean Barnes is a liability by any means, But you read the game. You read the room and you say, look, Herter's having a good game. Monk is having a good game. Fox, Sabonis, Murray. Lyles didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but I thought he played well. Duarte, Davion did just enough. Like, the guys filled their roles yesterday. And I think as long as they're in kind of this mode, knowing how important these games are, they're going to be able to finish this thing the way at least they want to do it. But it was fun to see the energy, the intensity, the overall approach to the game. And we're going to talk much more about that coming up in the next couple of hours. Again, a reminder at 9, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Brendan Nunez, will join us. So what was the impact of yesterday? Did the Kings win even really help them at all in the crowded Western Conference standings? We'll get into the standings watch in the Western Conference to start the next hour here on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back, without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday, and we're looking at a cool start to the day with some patchy areas of fog. For the afternoon, partly cloudy skies expected. Temperatures a bit warmer today with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in Car and Driver Award history. Come drive it. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
It's been estimated that we lose more than 400 million golf balls globally every year. Hitting it in the fairway is a great way to prevent lost balls, but Golf Magazine's Josh Sen says, we can do better, people. First, play the right tees. The architect designed the placement of hazards for different handicaps. Second, find a reference point. Pick a tree, a shack, or a path where the shot was headed, and keep it locked as you head off the tee. Third, maybe use a highly visible ball. You've got a better crack at tracking your ball if it's the color of a lemon or a tangerine. And anecdotal evidence suggests there's something freeing about knocking around a cartoonishly colored golf ball. 4, do not look away in disgust. A natural reaction to a slice or duck hook is to turn away. As hard as it is to find an errant shot, it's even tougher if you don't know where to look. And finally, be a good scout. Instead of fiddling with your phone, keep an eye on your partner's shots. The more time you spend watching, the less time you spend looking. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's up? Talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
Huge savings on our remaining 2023 Rams as we make room for the hundreds of 2024s arriving daily. This month, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And you won't find a better selection of new Ram trucks in Northern California with over 500 Rams available.
Well, that sounds like a good deal, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
For 4 generations, we prided ourselves on being the small town dealer with big city selection and savings. When you buy from Hoblet, you're family, which is why so many of our customers come back and buy from us time after time.
Come to Hoblet and see what it's like to be treated like family at California's #1 Ram truck dealer. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 74.88 factory rebates and 75.12 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible with new case equipment to qualify, and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be carrying a member of eligible first responder association. 5 with this net savings. Symbol VIN 700008.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Wembanyama with a fake hero step. He leaned left, went right, and that caught the Frenchman totally by surprise.
Hit him with the little and a little didn't even see it coming. That was actually sweet. The little look away. I don't know where Wembanyama was going, but a little and he was gone. Sabonis to the rim. Where'd he go? That's what it said. That's what he said. Where'd he go? Domantas Sabonis, Sacramento Kings prevail yesterday and do exactly what they need to do to set the tone to start the second portion of the schedule here for the Sacramento Kings. So that highlight there was not our Jiffy Lube drive of the game, but coming up at 7:45, if you were able to hear it and know it and remember it or wrote it down or however you want to get yourself in play for a chance to win a $100 gift card from our great friends at Jiffy Lube. We will have the Jiffy Lube drive of the game coming up later this hour, right around 7:45. But the importance of doing this, what the Kings did last night, winning the last game before the All-Star break in Denver, winning last night. Now that's 2 in a row, not some sort of substantial win streak going, but this year is putting them in a different spot compared to other years. And so compared really to last year, just same record basically, different standings, 3rd to 8th. And if we take a look at the standings of what happened last night, we'll kind of go through what last night did for Sacramento. There wasn't as much help as you would hope for in some cases as far as the overall impact of the standings. Now, there were several prominent head-to-head matchups that we talked about earlier, but if we do the standings dive, let's start at the top. Minnesota played and won. They stayed in first. Now, the development that happened in the standings, we're going to do the standings watch here probably the rest of the way, because I think we're going to be in a position now where there will be a nightly shuffle because of those tiers. And, when we do, if the playoffs started today, well, not a lot changed for the Kings' perspective last night with the win. But the good thing is it didn't get worse. It only got better in some way, shape, or form. They gained on a few people, maybe not all the right people, but they did gain by winning. Here's what happened last night. Minnesota won. That's their 4th straight. They stay in first at 39-18. They've got 1 game clearance now on the Thunder, who also won. That's 3 in a row. What they did by winning that game is separate themselves from the Nuggets and the Clippers, because they beat the Clippers. And so they now have a 1.5 lead on those 2 teams. So again, it's Minnesota first, winners of 4 straight. The Thunder second, 1 back, winners of 3 straight. That tie for 3rd now belongs to the Clippers and the Nuggets. By percentage points, it goes to the Clippers. Clippers play tonight. We'll talk about that later. Kings play the Clippers on Sunday, they've yet to defeat. So that feels like a big game in LA on Sunday. That's that top tier of top 4 teams. All of those would have home court as it's set up right now. Then you go to the 5th place team, the New Orleans Pelicans. They were in 5th to start the night. They stayed in 5th basically at 34-22 because they won. They were in a tie to start the night with the Phoenix Suns, but they won. That's 4 straight. The team right behind them that moved up from 7th to a tie for 6th was the Dallas Mavericks, whose victory has now given them 7 consecutive wins, making them the hottest team in the league at 33-23. The team they beat was the Phoenix Suns. That's who they're now in a tie with at 33-23. The Kings' victory keeps them just a half game back of not only Phoenix and Dallas, but 1.5 back of New Orleans. But the spot, they want to be in 6th, and they certainly would love to get to 4. There's quite a bit of work to get to that top 4, 4.5 back for Sacramento. Now, where the bonus was basically behind the Kings. The Lakers began the day 2 back of Sacramento, and since they lost to the Warriors, the Kings now have a 3-game lead on the Lakers. Now, that's not insurmountable, but when you start to look in the loss column, the Lakers have 4 more losses. And so, picture the Kings on a 4-game losing streak, which, of course, is possible. That's the way the Lakers would have to catch them. So the Kings have a little cushion there. The Warriors got the win, pulled within a half game of the Lakers, but the Kings are 3.5 up on them. And that next tier is really starting to separate. Utah was in the mix for a while, and now they've slipped. They've lost 5 in a row, and now they're 5 below 500. So when they were at 500, they were in the top 10. 5 straight losses combined with the Warriors playing much better has had the Warriors surpass the Utah Jazz. And I think if you look at the bottom 5, that's probably the 5 that'll be out of the play-in now, as the Jazz are, 3.5 back of the Warriors. Then you got the Rockets, who are now 7 games below 500. Then it drops all the way down to Memphis, who is 9 back of the play-in at 10. And then you've got the Blazers and the Spurs. So Spurs aren't going to make it. Blazers aren't going to make it. Memphis isn't going to make it. And you start to look at Houston and Utah, and they're running out of time in games. So I think the 10, I think we got it. If you really look at the standings, and we could take a picture of this now and go, this is likely the 10, but what will the order be? What will the shuffle be? Who will drop to those critical 7, 8, 9, 10 games? And again, if you look at that right now as the 7, 8, 9, 10, the way it's structured, you'd have the Kings playing the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix in the 7-8 game, and the Warriors going to the Lakers in the 9-10 game, knowing that 2 of those 4 teams would not be in the postseason. That is the sense of urgency that the Kings have to realize is in front of them. Nothing is guaranteed. The play-in is certainly a possibility, and you want to do everything you can to avoid that. Sure, you could win and get in the postseason and even advance and go far. All those things are possible, but I think you just want to cut those odds out and just eliminate them. Doesn't mean if you secure the 6 seed and play the 3 seed, oh, good, everything's safe or fine. It's safer. You still have to play the 3 seed. If you're 5, you play the 4. You know the whole deal. But you're avoiding that potential danger of having a bad shooting night, having another game where a player gets hurt, an illness like Sabonis had last night, but still played through it. A hot shooting day by, Kevin Durant, and you're out. Well, in this case, if you're the 7-8, you get another chance, but then you have to face LeBron or Steph. You want that for your chance to get to the postseason, to make it a 2 years in a row of in the playoffs? I'd rather see them get to that top 6, be a little bit stress-free at the end if possible, maybe even resting players if they can in game 81 or 82 if it can impact their standings. That would be nice, but they're not in that position today. And so that's why we're going to do standings watch. That's why games like last night you can't have, as Henry Turner said, my broadcast partner in the pre-half and post yesterday, they've had enough oopsie games. Like, you can't have those anymore. You can't go, oops, lost to the Spurs. Make it up later. Can't have anymore. You've had enough. If the Spurs beat you, which they almost did, not in a way like, hey, you gave the Spurs the game. I think the Spurs would have earned that victory. They played well. But you can't have the games where you go, man, what happened tonight? Why did they play like that? Why would they blew that game? You don't want any more of those. You want teams to defeat you if it happens. Ideally, you want to win every game going out. We realize that's not going to happen, but as many as they possibly can get in that final 28 to, 1, make them feel good about how they're playing. 2, it obviously will increase their spots in the standings, and maybe you can get as high as your goals as into the top 4. I think that's the hardest thing and the biggest stretch, but you have to know the reality that's also out there is you could be in that play-in opportunity, and that is not the playoffs. And if you do not do well there and you're out, that would be a whole season of work, an off-season kind of committing to the group, a trade deadline committing to a group, and then to not come through, that would be very, very tough to take. So avoid it. Easier said than done, but play well, play strong, play committed, sense of urgency, play for one another, and use your talent. This is a talented team. There's flaws. Highlight the positives, work on those weaknesses, and just battle, compete, act like you want to get there. And I think they showed a lot of that last night. I love the finish. So you not only had kind of a drive and a sense of urgency to win the game, but execution late. 11-2 run on a team that is not as seasoned, is not as polished as you, but was having a night. And you were part of it. You helped them have that night. But at the end, it's about what you did to get the victory, and the Kings did just that. All right, we've got 3 for Madness coming up. We've got 3 questions. We've got 3 answers, all brought to you by our friends at Firewing. Still to come, I'm going to talk more about kind of this mode that the Kings are in, how they've entered this playoff mode, and I think it's a really good spot for this team to be in compared to what last year was like. We'll do a little compare and contrast coming up. But next, 3 questions, 3 answers brought to you by our friends at Firewings. We've got that on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He stopped the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Zone report.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured, remember,
For the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, let's do it. We thank Fire Wings for sponsoring 3 for Madness. Fire Wings, 21 delicious flavors of wings. Fire Wings, just wing it. Many locations around our greater area. Love me some Fire Wings. Chris Verlaud, what do you have for question number 1?
Does last night's Kings close win against the Spurs worry you for the rest of the season?
No, it doesn't. I don't know that I have any more confidence. Here's where the worries came from last night. All we played in the last couple days was points of emphasis that the team worked on. Free throws, which, there was a set where Fox went 0 for 2, 10 of 14, 71%. Okay. But the 3-point defense, and the Spurs are the worst 3-point shooting team in the league. And I believe it was possession 3 or 4 where the Kings completely fell asleep, left a corner 3. Boom, it's in. Angry timeout, Mike Brown. Yeah. Come on. So he was ticked off. And you worked on it. Points of emphasis. Are you not listening? Are you not paying attention? Are we not executing? It makes you wonder about all those things. But as the game went along, the Kings still gave up 44% beyond the arc, 11 of 25. I think they played the right team on that. And fortunately, Victor Wembanyama was a bit thirsty, shooting 6 of those and making just 1. But I would say Vassell made a bunch of tough shots. He's a good shooter, too. The Kings have to continue to work on that. That would be an area that concerns me. But I don't know any other way to put this. I really liked the way they played. And it's not just, hey, it was pretty. They had some good highlights and they shot the ball well. I thought there was that sense of urgency. I really do. Now, some of the details might have been missing at portions of the game, but I think they understood how hard they had to play, came out with the right approach, didn't just kind of cruise into the game. Last time they played the Spurs, I think they were down 23-5. There was no huge deficits. And so when the Spurs, like every team, made a run, the Kings would be right there and have a response and never found themselves down 16 and going, man, are you going to lose this game? Now, they found themselves down 4 very late in the game, but finished with great execution on an 11-2 run. So I thought they were tested. I thought they handled the tests. I thought they faced a unique player. I thought they faced a hot player. And they had a lot of guys play well. So all these things, even against a better team, I still think can end up in a winning formula. So I didn't leave yesterday's game bothered by the win in any way, shape, or form. I did think when they got down 4, they were in serious jeopardy of losing, and it would have been disappointing. But no, I would say overall, Chris, I'm encouraged by the win, and really the approach to the game is the best way I could say it. I really like the way they handled that. So not discouraged or worried about the rest of the season from that specific game at all for the Kings. Question 2.
Question 2.
Kings have 4 games next week, 3 on the road. What does a successful week look like for the Kings?
All right, so we're counting Sunday with the Clippers. Monday, it's Jaime Jaquez. Got to be underdog by about 70 in that game. The Heat will be here, so it's back-to-back. And then you go to, Denver? And are you counting Sunday, or are you counting next
counting
week?
Sunday.
Okay. So Clippers, Miami, Denver, Minnesota. Man. All teams above 500. 3 of them on the road. What's that?
3 and 4 days.
3 and 4 days. You got a back-to-back, a Denver team that you've beaten 3 times. You have to go there. It's not a back-to-back there. Minnesota to finish. I'm going to just give them 2. 2 would be successful. 1 might be a reality. 3 would be awesome if they won, but that's really difficult. And I hope that's why last night became important to win. You really need to win the home game against Miami. That's the second night of a back-to-back. The Heat won't be in a back-to-back situation. The other 2 matchups have been really tough for you, the T-Wolves and the Clippers. And the team you've defeated the most comfortably has been Denver, but I don't know that I feel, hey, they're 3-0 against Denver. That'll be easy on the road. I'm gonna say what would be good would be 2 and 2. How about you?
I think maybe 1.
I know, isn't that brutal? And so then we just did standings watch in the last segment. and saying, oh, it's good. There's a little cushion on the Lakers, a little cushion on the Warriors. You have a 1-3 week, which they might even play well during the week. By this time next week, we could be looking at
They could play well and be 0-4.
That's right. I mean, that's the quality teams they're playing. So, but they've also had some good wins this year, like the win before the break in Denver. They did win in Minnesota already this year. So this team, as we know, has been a little bit unpredictable. Now 9 games over 500. If they somehow got out of that 2-2 and stayed 9 over 500 through that with just, what would it be, 8 road games left after that, I'd really like their position for the Sacramento Kings. All right, third and final question.
Question 3.
Are the Fanatics see-through jerseys just what MLB needs for more people to be interested in the upcoming season?
Okay, so, I mean, here's one of those things. Attention is good, even if it's bad, bad news. All news is good news. Not all news. What is it? What's the saying? I already have
Any
it wrong.
news is good news.
Any news is good news. Well, they're getting attention. People are talking about it, but they look bad. Now, if there was some report that these, like there's a moisture wickering thing, like all of it's supposed to be better performance and more breathable and all that, they're see-through. And it's not like you're, seeing what you don't need to see, but like I saw pictures of Chris of guys with their jerseys tucked in, and imagine like not necessarily a jersey patch, but like stuff that was written on, like a stitch for sewing that might say what kind of jersey it is, and it's tucked in the pants, and you could clearly see the patch. I mean, I don't know what baseball's doing here. They've had a couple of missteps, and reportedly the players hate it. So, no, I don't think it's what baseball needed at all. It's getting people to talk about it, but to me, it's just more of an embarrassing look. See-through pants, what are we doing here?
They're supposed to be more breathable.
I'm sure they are, but can we put a little layer of something else to protect things? Like if you have pinstripes, I don't think anybody has this look. If you had a pinstripe top and just a clear or white pant. So, generally it's pinstripe all the way up and down. But if you only had the top half and you tucked it in, you'd see the pinstripes through your pants. Not a good look. Not a good look at all for baseball. And I don't know if this is something they could change this late. I mean, I know people can go to work and make things happen pretty quickly.
Are they going to order like
new gear
from like a catalog? Yeah.
Hey, can we rush this order do you have any Cubby Blue?
I mean, now that I think in high school, we had to buy our own pants.
Yeah, that's fine. But
so are they going to have to do that?
That'd be pretty hilarious.
Hey, one white and one gray, guys.
I mean, the jokes insert themselves, but the A's are like, yeah, just wear jeans. Imagine
we all saw that one kid in Little League.
Yeah, it's like everybody's got your practice. What are you doing? Or sweats? Or it's like, I don't have baseball pants. Really? Can you at least take the change out of your pocket? My goodness. That would be funny. Bring your own gear. Do you remember did you ever see the footage of the late 70s, late 70s White Sox where they wore shorts?
I've seen the shorts.
Yeah. What was the thought process behind that?
It's different.
It is different, but I mean, come on, sliding on that, get raspberries everywhere. Bad look for baseball. Just a bad look for baseball. But it reminds me of they made a big thing of that in the early 2000s. Remember when the NBA changed the ball?
Yes. I thought that was a little bit later.
Was it? I know Mike Bibby was, because I remember he was one that like hated it. People were getting blistered. Like they hated the ball, and then they changed it.
Because I want to say maybe Doug just started doing like the pre and post game.
Was it that? No. I thought it was early 2000s. No.
Oh, I thought it was like later.
Either way, but
because the one with the pump, right? Like it had there
was something different with the actual texture of the ball. And It was just the players hated it. Maybe there was another one like that too, but yeah, what are you doing? If it's not broken, you don't have to fix anything. And
that's the move you do when like players start to complain about something.
Right. And also,
or you have to just do it like soccer and just change it every single year.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is a lot of times these changes are made, and it's not like you can't have change. Consult with players first. Have a couple of representatives out there that say, hey, we're doing this. Here's the reason why. These are going to be a little more breathable, in some of these games.
Oh, actually, now that I think we're thinking of two different things. Wasn't it when did Wilson have the sponsorship for?
They might have changed the brand.
I
Yeah.
think it was the brand that changed, and then the ball was different.
Yeah. That's right. I do remember something about that. But have players consulted because, we get it. You're going to be in Texas and other places. Well, Texas now is a dome, but you know what I mean, where it's hot summer and baseball, that could really wear on you in some of those jerseys. Well, if you want it more breathable, all that, but it's also about look and feel for the players and make sure they're consulted. This has been a bad look, certainly for Major League Baseball. All right, when we return, the Kings are already entering this playoff mode. Last night felt like it. Chris just brought up the question, what do you expect for the Kings over the next 4 games? Those games are going to be brutal. They're in playoff mode now. The standings watch are paramount, and I'm going to explain why I think this is a good thing for Sacramento. We'll do that when we return here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Fox now on the left angle, gets to 2-point range, lobs it out to Herter, wide open. 3 to seal the deal. He's got the triple, and Fox has a career-high 16th assist.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday, and we're looking at a cool start to the day with some patchy areas of fog. For the afternoon, partly cloudy skies expected. Temperatures a bit warmer today with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in Car and Driver Award history. Come drive it. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment, 916-520-9990.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Keegan Murray, top of the circle, now drives left side of the paint. Goes strong! It flushes it home. Two-hand grip for Keegan Murray to make it 111-107. Gives to Monk with a behind-the-back pass. Monk in the paint, clears it out to Fox. 8 on the possession. He feeds it. No, he fakes it, fires it, and scores the 3. I thought when he made the fake that he was surrendering to Sabonis, but instead he knocked down the triple. Kings regain the lead. Strong to the rim, and Fox comes up with a steal. Took it away. That looked like an automatic 2 on the backdoor cut and a perfectly placed assist pass. But De'Aaron Fox said, not so fast. And he comes up with the deflection. Here's Fox with a pull-up 17-footer. He's got the bucket. Kings with 9 unanswered points. 30 seconds to go.
Some of the highlights of last night's win for the Sacramento Kings. The beam was lit, though a bit premature, as we said. Some of you on our YouTube chat said my kid saw his first beam last night. It was glorious. Yes, saw my first non-playoff beam last night. Glorious. Wow, glorious is the word of the day.
So Sacramento, do Cool Hand a favor and light the beam!
I remember when that started. Was a little unsure of the gimmick. Love it. Absolutely love it. And we've said it. You could just say those words anywhere. There was someone on I saw someone here locally, maybe in Vegas at something, the Super Bowl week, and ran into Flava Flav and said something about Sacramento. They're like, Sacramento, light the beam. I mean, that's just.
Are we sure he was talking about the beam?
Not sure. Not sure. But he got the context, or at least put it out there. Will make us believe that. It's a great atmosphere. It really was last night. Sellout crowd again, really good energy in the building, entertaining game, and Sacramento prevailed. Now, we're going to have a lot more of these coming up. There is now a palpable energy to the remainder of the season. And I said it yesterday when we had Sam Amick on. I think the NBA, as much of a clunker that All-Star weekend was, really specifically the All-Star game, I think our finish is going to be awesome. You've got Boston as the clear-cut favorite, at least the front runner in the East, but you have people chasing him and in good pursuit. The Knicks are good. The Cavs are good. Philly gets healthy again. Milwaukee in their pursuit to get it right with Doc Rivers. There's some quality teams in the Eastern Conference. The West is just a fight. People still think the Lakers and the Warriors can win the West, and they're in 9th and 10th. Not necessarily the 1 seed. I'm saying get out of the West. You've got the champs in there, new blood in OKC and Minnesota and the Kings, and then you got, legends of the game in the Clippers and the Suns and the Mavs, and a wide open MVP race. Maybe not as wide open, but there's candidates in there, new faces. I think we're in for a thrilling finish to the NBA's regular season, and then that gets us to the best part of this whole thing, the postseason. So for the Kings, we know probably what the roadmap needs to be as far as how they get there. They got to be, playing healthy, playing well, playing for each other, commitment to all the things they're working on, improving on the free throws. Just keep working at it. You're going to have some bad games, but there are going to be games you're like, hey, free throws were a difference in a positive way. Defending the three-point line, it was not acceptable enough last night, but you have to keep drilling that in and getting better and better and better. And then as long as you got Fox and you got Sabonis, you got a chance. And then you get Monk playing well, and Murray and Herder and Barnes and Lyles and down the line. That's how they do it. But why I like the position that they're in is the fact that last night felt like a playoff type game because they couldn't let it slip. And they got a really tough push from the Spurs. And they know the sense of urgency is out there. At least that I felt like it. It looked like it. And let's hear what they had to say. Here's Kevin Herder on that.
I think everyone needs it across the league. I mean, it's a grind of an 82 games. Everyone everyone knows that. So I think everyone looks forward to the All-Star break, but it's really the home stretch. This is year 6 going through it. The rest of the season from here on out will fly by, and we need every game. We're in a dogfight here in the West, and we can feel the urgency of every game. And so I think everybody got a little mental refresh, and we're back ready to go.
Again, I said it yesterday too. There's something about it, and Herder kind of said that, like that. The All-Star game is not a halfway point, but it kind of feels like it in the way of the way a season can go. They've played more regular season games, but if you're a playoff team that gets extended for a while, the All-Star break does become the halfway point. So they've played more than half the regular season schedule. But from this point on, it needs to be tightened up. Now, you're also going to see some teams, I won't say that are giving up, but the trades are done. There's not a player like Wembanyama to tank for, let's say, per se, and they've tried to clean that up with the lottery. But I think the other hidden gem of the play-in game is you have less teams in that mode. I mean, if you're going to have 20 of your 30 teams basically a play-in or better, and then you've got the other teams that are going to just miss out. If we go over to the East, there's starting to become a little separation, but Brooklyn and Toronto probably still can be in the running to be a top 10 team. So you'd have 12 in the East competing. And I would say Utah and Houston have a chance, though they're slip sliding away. But let's even just keep it at the 20. So you have 20 of your 30 teams with a chance at the postseason. You're going to get good basketball, as at least I think, all the way through. And right now, without separation in either league, really, besides Boston to the number 2, you've got everybody fighting for seeding, fighting for the top 6, or fighting for the play-in. And I think that makes for compelling basketball. And that's where that sense of urgency comes in. De'Aaron Fox feels it as well and knows that at this point in the West, every single game gets him kind of in that playoff mode, and they all are very important.
There are different spots where you can come after All-Star break and you could be fighting for a playoff spot, or you can come after All-Star break and you can be counting the days down until the season's over. And with the way that the West is right now, obviously at the beginning of the year, every game matters, but right now, you can win one game or lose one game, and you can move up or down 3 or 4 spots. Like that's how close it is right now. And we know that every game is important. That's what I said. Sometimes you'd always rather a win than a loss, no matter how they come. But especially right now, you'd rather that. But you try to build as much momentum as you can going into that first round of the playoffs, and then there's no stopping right now. It's you're in a full throttle right now.
And I think that's coming now from a guy with experience, right? That's what last year's first round, much like we say these regular season lessons, hey, that tough loss to this team or that game where they weren't ready for, that needs to be a lesson. They're not always picked up right away. They're not always observed. There still could be mistakes the next time you're in that position, but you want them over time to be like, hey, let's do our best to avoid that. Now the Kings know. They know what the postseason's like. They know that this road is different than last year. And I think in this case, it is good. It would be better. Like, last night, case in point, if the Kings were in the 3 seed like they were a year ago, and let's say they were in the 3 seed with some breathing room, like a 2-game lead, let's say, from 4, but more like 5 or 6 games up of that play-in kind of mess, I bet you Domantas Sabonis sits that one out. That's my feeling. He had missed 2 days of practice, was doubtful, was under the weather, and then sets the tone by showing up for shoot-around, giving a hint that he might play, then does play, and then he was fantastic. But those are little things. Domantas Sabonis knows how important this game is. Mike Brown knows how important this game is. You heard it from Fox. You heard it from Herder. And so as long as that starts to permeate amongst the team, I think the fans are sensing it. I think they were very well educated in the game last night, with the exception of maybe that early light the beam chant. Yeah. That's how I think that's the benefit of this year. You see it in football when some of those teams that get in late or a wild card team, man, they're dangerous. They've been playing the Buffalo Bills. They were playing in playoff mode for the last 5-6 weeks. Yeah, they were sharp. They didn't win the whole thing, but I think they were ready to go. Maybe a team on a bye or kind of cruised in, maybe a little rusty when the playoffs started. Who knows? There's good and bad of all of this. But you got to take what is good in the fact that they got to be laser focused. No time to miss out on any opportunities. And the Kings are in that playoff mode already. And Mike Brown kind of shared that same thought last night.
Every time we step on the floor, especially from this point forward, because of where we're sitting in the standings, it's a different feeling that they haven't gone through. And we have to perform at a high level to get a win just to get into the playoffs. So we're fighting for our lives right now. And it's great because you need experience in order to grow. And sometimes you need adversity in order to grow. And that's the best or the quickest way you'll be able to learn, by going through something, falling on your face, and getting up and figuring it out, because that's when it stings the most. So I like all this stuff for us. We need it. We're going to embrace it. And at the end of the day, I believe this group can get it done.
We're going to see if they absolutely can. And I like, again, I wish they were higher up in the standings. And they could be in fifth now and still be in this playoff mode because, fifth, as we said earlier, it's just a game or two here and you're back into eighth. So there would be pressure anywhere they are, but I like that they're not in third, that they're not kind of one of the people that are being chased. They're doing the chasing. And I think that's when the Kings are better. We've seen them down in games and the ability to come back. I think when they've got something, I know they should already have something to play for, but this team, what they were chasing last year was whatever they could do to break the playoff drought. That was the quest. Got to get in the postseason. I wouldn't say it didn't matter what they did. Once they were there and you're the 3 seed, you got home court, you have every opportunity to go far. They ultimately lost to the Warriors in 7, but now this feels different to me. Observing them, having the blunders early on, knowing where they are now, that commitment to get back to the postseason, to try to get to the top 6, and better yet, the top 4, which will be a heck of a stretch, but to avoid the play-in. So that playoff mode, I think, is really good that they've already entered that at this point. Well, we talked about them. We got to give them even more love. From doubtful to dominant, the day of Domantas Sabonis. Next.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6697 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6697. That's 800-220-6697. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6697. Again, 800-220-6697.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources. I mean, he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
To Murray, to Fox, to Sabonis. Straddles a three-point arc with a left-hand dribble, drops it off to De'Aaron. Steps to his left, Wembanyama there. Feeds it inside to Sabonis. Great assist pass. That was just terrific. Great find from Fox and Sabonis with the first 2 points of the ball game. Nice way to start on the offensive end with crisp execution by the Kings. Sabonis goes right by Wembanyama with a fake Euro step. He leaned left, went right, and that caught the Frenchman totally by surprise.
Sabonis also had a nasty dunk on Zach Collins. He got him really good. Domantas Sabonis from doubtful to dominant last night. Yet another triple-double. We're going to talk about him in a moment, but right now it's that time. Jiffy Lube drive of the game time. It's been a while since we've been able to give away one of these bad boys. $100 gift certificate courtesy of our friends at Jiffy Lube. Perfect for any of you out there right now. All you had to do was listen to the G-Man, and if you can correctly identify the Jiffy Lube drive of the game, you will be our winner today. So 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. If you can identify the Jiffy Lube drive of the game, you will win. The first person to do it, too. So we'll welcome the callers now at 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Still to come, too, on the show, I want to remind you that we will talk with Brendan Nunez. That's coming up at 9, our Sactown Sports Kings insider. Get his perspective on last night's win and the tough road ahead. Man, these next 4 games, very, very difficult for the Sacramento Kings, but I liked a lot of things I saw last night. We'll get Brendan's perspective on that. We'll close out the show with Styles and Watkins in here, some Friday fun and games, also celebrity birthdays, all that and more to get to between now and 10 o'clock. But again, your chance now, the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. If you remember what it was last night, maybe you jotted it down, got it word for word, whatever it might be, 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140. All right, so let's get into Domantas Sabonis, what we were talking about with Sabonis from doubtful to dominant last night. And what I really loved about Sabonis's performance was how he set the tone, like I said, in what the Kings kind of are trying to do now, right? They're trying to make the best push they possibly can towards the postseason. And to do so, they've got to be on their game. They need all their players available. And Sabonis was doubtful. There was a lot of concern whether or not he would legitimately play yesterday. But he did, went through shoot around in the morning, went through the game warmups, and then was announced that he was going to start. And, oh, by the way, you got to go play against Victor Wembanyama, just one of the most unique one-of-one players in the league. I was so impressed with how physically Domantas Sabonis played. I mean, Domantas Sabonis pushed Wembanyama around, and the amount of times Sabonis scored at the rim in the restricted area with Wembanyama right on top of him was amazing. He was doing quick jumps, turns, flips, sometimes went right through him. He was spectacular yesterday. Let's hear a little bit about what his teammates had to say about Sabonis. First, let's hear from De'Aaron Fox.
I mean, we've talked about it before. You try not to. You don't want to become numb to what he's doing. Like that's not normal. It's only been done, a few times in this game, and the fact that he's available every night is big for us because he plays so hard. He plays so physical. He could easily be one of those guys that take a few nights off. But like I said, he came in today, and you couldn't get him to not play today. He was a game time decision, but he wasn't not going to play. So that's leading by example. If something's hurt, he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna go out there and play, give him my all, and then you live with the results. And that's what you want out of somebody who's one of the best players in this league, who should be an MVP candidate. I don't know how many of those guys haven't missed a game yet, but he's definitely up there.
All right. So he said, yeah, he was a game time decision, but we knew he was going to play. That's the tone he set. And Fox a little bit more on the Sabonis versus Wembanyama matchup.
Nothing can prepare you for that type of length. Like, doesn't matter who you play against. If it's not Wemby, nothing prepares you for that. So obviously he's older. He's stronger than most in this league. And just obviously you go up against someone like that, you try to go into their chest. You try to make it a physical game. At the end of the day, obviously he's going to block shots regardless of how the game's going. He's going to get 2 or 3 blocks no matter what happens. But that can really weigh on you. You get hit over and over again. It's a physical game, and that's the way Domas plays. And obviously, this is Wemby's first year in the league, and that's kind of what I feel like everybody was like, oh, can he handle the physicality? I think he can. I think you kind of have to get used to it and then learn how to dish it out without fouling. But Domas did what he does.
And again, do not take for granted what Domantas Sabonis is doing on a nightly basis. I mean, absolutely incredible. I want to jump back into this in a moment, but right now, let's see if we can get someone to identify our Jiffy Lube drive of the game last night. 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. First one to check in, Sammy. Sammy, do you know what the drive of the game was yesterday, courtesy of Jiffy Lube?
Yeah, I think it was the pass to De'Aaron Fox in the lane from Kevin Huerter.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Chris? We there? We're there, Sammy. Hang on. Let's see if you are right.
Here's Huerter with a brilliant pass inside to a hard-cutting De'Aaron Fox for a driving reverse layup. And that has to be your Jiffy Lube drive of the game. You're listening to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross tomorrow morning at 7:45. Your chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area.
All right, there you go, Sammy. Congrats. Thank you for listening. Hang tight. We will get your information. You are the winner of our Jiffy Lube gift certificate from the Jiffy Lube Drive of the Game. $100 gift card coming your way. As Sammy, we appreciate you listening here to Sactown Sports. All right, so that was a beautiful pass. The Kings were really distributing the ball well, and one of the guys that does that on a consistent basis is Domantas Sabonis. And so we were talking about him, the tone he set by one committing to play, and then the way he played. Last night, there was never a question on effort and energy and desire to win with Domantas Sabonis. His final stat line, 11 of 15. He ended up with 11 rebounds, 11 more assists, just 2 turnovers, 1 block, and 22 points. Oh, yeah. That is a triple-double for Domantas Sabonis. His teammates know it. We just heard from De'Aaron Fox. How about the attention it got from Kevin Huerter?
Yeah, he's been sick, but he probably needs a rest more than any of us. That guy's a gladiator. He's in every night, plays heavy minutes. He gets beat up. Wasn't sure if he was going to go. Like, again, we haven't seen him in the last couple of days, and he showed up here ready to play, and wouldn't really expect anything different. And I think got his lungs back underneath him in that first half, and was huge for us. Again, a typical night for him.
Yeah, again, typical, but I don't want that to be like so cavalier, like, oh, or if Sabonis has what would be deemed as an off night, what is it, a double-double? I mean, leads the league in triple-doubles, continues his double-double streak, was playing sick, playing a one-of-one unicorn-type player, and was great. I mean, was really great, physically imposing. Some of the things the Kings are missing out on is, you would say is rim protection, but he cleans up the glass so well, continues to lead the league in rebounding, top 50 in scoring, top 5 in assists, and leading the way on a good team. Him and De'Aaron Fox. Fox was great in the fourth quarter. Herter was good the game throughout. Malik Monk continues to just be an absolute stud off the bench. But it kind of takes all of them, like we've said many, many times. Let's get one more thought on Domas and his big game. We'll hear from the head coach, Mike Brown.
Domas had a huge game for us. This is his 19th triple-double in the year. He leads the league with that. Again, he doesn't get enough credit for it. This is his 38th double-double in a row. The crazy part about it, it's not just the fourth longest on the season. It's like, I think, fourth longest since the ABA and NBA emerged, or came together, if I'm saying that right. So to have 38 double-doubles in a row it is phenomenal. And we needed every single rebound and point that he put that he got for us tonight. So.
But again, like we said, Domas, doubtful to dominant, triple-double. He was terrific. But how about the other key player for the Sacramento Kings when we return? De'Aaron Fox's night. Yeah, he was fourth quarter Fox. Yeah, he had 28 points. But a lot of it was that huge clutch defensive play late in the game. Let's talk about De'Aaron's night and the Kings' victory when we return here on Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for our you. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
In providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000 with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-270-3388. That's 800-270-3388. 800-270-3388.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday, and we're looking at a cool start to the day with some patchy areas of fog. For the afternoon, partly cloudy skies expected. Temperatures a bit warmer today with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton's President's Day savings. Unleash luxury and precision in a new Acura Integra, RDX, MDX, or TLX. Quality meets affordability with savings on our best selection. Get to AcuraofStockton.com and start your experience today. On the road in style. Visit us today or go to AcuraofStockton.com. Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton and Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the three numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Block for that. His recovery was fantastic late in the game as the Kings finished strong and defeated the San Antonio Spurs in an energetic, fun game last night, 127-122. Jason Ross here with you, Christopher Lott as well. No Carmichael Dave. He's back with us from his vacation on Monday. And, the Kings got yeah, maybe. You're right. We'll see. Got the win that they needed. Didn't get as much help in the standings as they wanted, but it's about controlling what they can control. Coach Brown always talks about that in the coaching staff, control the controllables. Effort, intensity, energy, they had it. The execution was there late, and boy, did the Spurs make them earn it. I thought San Antonio played their hearts out. Devin Vassell was great. Seeing Victor Wembanyama, again, we talked about this earlier. There are triple-doubles now happening all the time in this league, but he almost had the rare 5x5 game, which is at least 5 points, at least 5 assists, at least 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 5 steals. He had all those categories, but he was 1 assist short of that with 4. The last time it happened was in 2019 when Nusef Jurkic did it to the Kings at Golden One Center. Like I said, I think it's happened 10 times since 2000 or 95 or whatever it was. So a rarity. He's a special player. That caught a lot of people's attention, including Mike Brown, on Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, he's a generational talent. At that size, I still don't know how he moves. I watch him and I don't think it's real. But obviously it is, because he's putting up the numbers and he's doing it right in front of my face. But definitely great for the NBA. I wish he was in the East. Sorry, Pop. But man, it's just a treat for everybody to come see a guy at that size do the things that he can do.
You know, there was other things observing him firsthand that impressed me. You know, Sabonis is so good at clearing the boards and going, right? And just becoming his own pressure on the defense and his own fast break and creating things for his offense. There was a time where Sabonis did that in typical fashion. Wembanyama was kind of running with him, and he kind of turned Sabonis. Like, you think about a guard that's getting pressured in the backcourt, and he nearly ripped him. He nearly picked him clean, just reached down with those long arms, poked the ball out of bounds. And you're thinking, that's a 7'3", 7'4" center running with a Kings. I mean, it's just a different day and age of the NBA with two elite centers doing this. One leading a potential fast break and the other one guarding him, staying with him and poking the ball away. But Wembanyama is already there defensively. I mean, what he does defensively creates so much havoc with his length, his pressure, his ability to challenge shots. And then Sabonis really bullied him, which was fun to see. But as Victor Wembanyama rounds out his offensive game, man, look out. I mean, really, truly look out on what he's going to be able to do in this league. Let's get one more thought, at least on that, from De'Aaron Fox on Victor Wembanyama.
I mean, I don't know if people know, he shoots like almost 50% on step back threes. So it's crazy. But I mean, I think nothing surprises me, obviously. But I think as he gets older and he gets, more efficient and he makes the game look a lot easier, I think it's going to be ridiculous. But I mean, all the film that you've seen on him before coming into the league is what he does. So nothing surprises you about him.
All right. So kind of enough thoughts on him. It was a marvel. If you get a chance to see this Kings and Spurs the next time at Golden One, I think that's about 2 or 3 weeks from now. Check it out. He's really fun to watch. But what was fun to watch was that play I mentioned in the highlight we played coming in was De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron's stat line, efficient, 12 of 18, hit a couple of threes, 2 of 4 from the foul line. Would like to see that a little bit better. 5 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 28 points, saved 11 of those for the fourth quarter. And his defensive play late, though, was really, really important. And Kevin Huerter, that caught his attention.
I mean, that was one of the freakish defensive plays I think I've ever seen that up close. Like, for him to be beat like that backdoor, recover to it, jump in the air, and then find and be able to palm the ball like that as he's going out. Like, that was a ridiculous defensive play. And a handful of guys across the league that can make that. And Vassell was tough all night. But Fox made a huge play when we needed it. And on both sides of the ball, he made plays for us. But that was a crazy defensive play.
It was a special play. It was needed. It was timely. I mean, look, those things can jump out. Maybe you're not the best defensive team, but can you make the stop when you absolutely need it? And they were also burnt on the play. Fox recovered and shared his thoughts on that play, what he saw.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I feel like I have pretty good recovery speed, and I knew that he was going for the dunk, so like there wasn't much movement that was probably going to happen. So, like I said, I just swung and I was able to get it.
Makes it sound easy. It wasn't. It was a beautiful play, set up the Kings and helped them execute at the end what they absolutely needed. So Fox as a elite scorer, we already know that, right? He leads the team in scoring. He's been fourth quarter Fox for a couple of years now. I said last year I couldn't wait to see him get to the postseason because I think De'Aaron shines brightest under the biggest stage, on the biggest lights, and he was fantastic in the playoffs against the Warriors. I'd love to see him get another opportunity to get more attention. I think people think highly of him in the league. I think they should think higher. I think the same of Sabonis. We know the disrespect the Kings got around the All-Star game, and whether or not that's fuel for him, whether or not the standings, whether or not their quest to get to the second round, whatever it is, I hope that they use all of it as fuel. But importantly, I think the team knows its longevity success. They have to find the plays defensively. I know everybody wants them to be collectively better and a good defensive team. The way the league is set up, the way scoring is going, there's so many great offensive players and points are happening at such a high level. I think plays like last night, like the key stops, the big defensive plays, are going to be showing up in these regular season games and a lot in the postseason. It's too many good scores. We're going to see a ton of scoring. You need to score. Kings offense needs to stay special. But when they can make these stops, that is a difference maker for me. And I think Coach Brown thinks De'Aaron Fox can truly be one of those guys that has that impact every night.
I think Foxy can be one of the best two-way guys to play in the NBA. And, I've said it many times before. I coached him at a camp when he was in high school. And I'll never forget, I've been in the league a long time. Even back then, I'd been in the league for a while. And I was just amazed at his strength for a smaller guy. He's wiry thin, but he's wiry strong too. And he's not as big as old school Reggie Williams from Georgetown University, but Reggie Williams from Georgetown University, I coached him. He was about this big, but he had a wiry strength about himself that I think Fox does too. And so when you're that athletic, you're that quick, you're that long, you can be a great defender, but it takes a lot of will and want to be able to do it. And I do. I think he's starting to figure it out, but he's just scratching the surface because it takes a lot to defend at the level that he's going to be capable of at the end of the day. And he's heading that way, which is impressive upon himself.
And the point too is there has to be a commitment to it. And I think De'Aaron does want to be a good defender. I think my knock on De'Aaron defensively has been, I don't think he shows it enough consistently at times. Like you could just observe and watch in person, almost like an angry De'Aaron. It's like, you're just not going to score on my watch. And that happens. I don't think it happens enough. I think we're seeing that now very consistently with Keegan Murray. Guys get scored on, but I think Keegan has a full-on commitment defensively all the time. All the time. And so if you can have two guys in your starting five playing like that, I think there's an effort from Herter. I think there's guys that are just quicker and more gifted than him, but I don't think it's an effort problem. But a lot of times people are going to go, I'm going to attack the Kings. Where can I attack? A lot of times they go after Herter. A lot of times they go after Sabonis. Barnes gets exploited a little bit. I mean, they all do. Everybody does. Look at what the Kings do to teams. Everybody gets exploited at times. But I think if you're seeking, switches and pick and rolls, it's like, oh, here's Herter on Curry now. Well, the Warriors set that up. That's what they wanted. Or here's another switch. Now they've got Sabonis guarding, someone on a switch. It's like, that's what they wanted. That's what teams do. That's what they create. Where Fox, and you've got Mitchell that can defend like that, Fox, and if you can get Murray, so you got enough guys where late in games, maybe you have them on the floor that you trust them. And if you're trying to create things, your defense, where your switches are between Murray and Fox, the other teams will counter. But I think that's when this team has their chance, at least defensively. And if you get Sabonis clearing the glass, that's about what you got. You don't have this true rim protector in there. You don't have these dominant roster full of defensive players. But you got enough guys, I think, that can do it. And if they do it at a long enough pace, and I think Mike Brown keeps throwing this challenge out to De'Aaron. He's said this for a while, that he thinks he could be a dominant, elite two-way player. Offensively, he's fantastic. Defensively, he's good at times. And last night, that play was spectacular. It really was. He's got to do that more. And I think he knows it. It's tough to do in all 82. I think you see that more from Fox in the playoffs, in the series. I think that's starting to match up with players that have been to the playoffs more and more often and know what that next level is like. And they kind of want to get there and peak at the right time. I think Fox now is that seasoned veteran. He's gone through these regular seasons. He's gotten some accolades. He's now seen what the postseason is like. And last night felt a lot like that for a lot of the team, that sense of urgency, knowing what the moment meant, knowing that they couldn't let that game slip. It nearly did, but they got it done when it mattered most. And guys like Sabonis, who played through illness, Fox, who made the great play late, finished the game strong, Monk, who was there all throughout, Herter, who had a great game, and Keegan Murray, just rock solid. And there you go. There's your recipe for success for the Sacramento Kings. All right, we've heard a lot of post-game reaction. We've got more still to get to. Still to come on the show as well. We will recap how we did in our predictions for last night's game, a recap of 3 in the Key. We'll have a 3 in the Key for the Kings and Clippers on Sunday. Who's hot, who's not, that's all coming up, including as well a look at tonight's matchups when a lot of it does not favor the team that's off. The Sacramento Kings will explain. But when we come back, a little more reaction from Brown, Herder, and Fox on the win last night over the Spurs. That's straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
What's up? As always, we're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
It's the biggest savings we've had in years on new heavy-duty Ram trucks. Right now, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4s. And yes, I said 2024s. Plus, we have Northern California's largest selection of Ram trucks with over 500 available. So you're sure to find your new Ram truck waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
$17,000 off MSRP on the brand new 2024s is a big deal. How'd you pull that off?
Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation, which means we have the best selection of the trucks you need at the best prices. No one has a better selection of heavy-duty Ram trucks west of the Mississippi. Plus, when you shop at Hoblet, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Hoblet Dodge, the small-town dealer with big city savings and selection. Start your search at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 11,379 factory rebates and 5621 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction rebate. Must have purchased eligible case equipment to qualify, and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association. Private net savings, simple VIN.
Purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Rebounded by Sacramento. Malik Monk's on the run. He leads his way to the free throw line, throws for the wing. Duarte steps into the 3, barely ripples the netting. Kings on top by 3 at 44-41. Chris Duarte knocking down his first shot attempt of the ball game. Here's Vassell giving it up, and a wing 3 attempt is blocked, and it goes out of bounds off San Antonio. Boy, that's a defensive gem from Malik Monk right there.
Offense, defense, enough in play last night for the Sacramento Kings as they took out the San Antonio Spurs, now 2-0 against San Antonio this year. Picked up some ground on the Lakers behind him, not as much on the teams in front of him, more of a look at tonight's standings and what to watch for coming up in our next segment. Also in our next segment will be your chance to win tickets to see Hannibal Buress coming up in March. That'll be at the Crest Theater. So stay tuned for that opportunity coming up in a few moments. We heard a highlight there from Chris Duarte. I thought the bench and other guys contributed. How about Kevin Herder last night? Kevin Herder was really good. Came right out of the box, very hot, hitting his 3-pointers. And, you know, when you look about, and we've talked a lot this week about differences between last year and this year, and I pointed out earlier where I think it's healthy. The one difference is they're not the 3 seed. They've got to work at this. They're in playoff mode now. Well, a lot of last year, not only being available and healthy, they were in a situation where a lot of guys were having great years. Kevin Herder's had a up and down year. Harrison Barnes has had an up and down year. Keegan Murray's been pretty good. Fox and Sabonis really rock solid. I know there's inside there's some up and down with Fox, and I would say, but look, his downs are 24 points, 6 assists, those kind of things. So he's still doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this team. And we saw a rough patch there from Malik Monk. He was great again too. He is really, really important to this team's success. But I enjoyed the fact to see a guy like Kevin Herder shoot the ball well like that. And it opens up things for this team, and it caught the attention of their coach, Mike Brown.
Yeah, no, like I said, he was great for us, especially early on because we couldn't buy a basket. And, with his ability to create separation without the basketball and, our guys doing a great job of getting him free with screens and all that, got him some good looks, and he knocked them down. And like I said, the ball wasn't going in for most of us early on. So we needed every one of those threes to not only try to gain a little bit of separation, but just to gain the confidence that we need to stay into the game when they went on a run. So big night for him, shooting the basketball. I thought he was decent rebounding the ball, but also I thought he did a pretty good job playmaking too. He made the right pass at the right time, and got other guys involved just because of his velocity or his speed, and when it came to create separation and the way he shot the ball.
I agree on that part too. And Herter, obviously when he could space the floor and hit threes, and this team shoots the three ball well, they're really lethal. But I thought Herter moved well and got some cuts, and Fox found him on a couple of great feeds. So did Sabonis. And, anytime Herter's running through the lane and getting layups like that, it is going to open up things for everyone else, and certainly for him beyond the arc. But I agree with what Coach said about him as a playmaker. I mean, if you look at 29 assists last night, and 20 of them came from Fox, Sabonis, and Herter. I mean, 11 from Sabonis, 9 from from Fox, and 5 from Herter. That's really good activity and playmaking amongst those guys. And you expect that from Fox and Sabonis, but it was nice to see that from Herter. And, the plus minus for those that care about that in a game that was decided by 5 points, the minutes he was on the floor, plus 15. So certainly an impact that he had on the floor while he was there. And it helps round out and give that starting five kind of its depth. I mean, Fox and Sabonis and Barnes all can hit the three. So can Keegan Murray. But when Herter's hitting it, that's kind of one of his strengths, right? If Fox is getting downhill, I would say that's his strength, his speed, his pace. Sabonis, well-rounded game distributing and playmaking for a lot of people. Barnes finding his lane, his off-balance kind of step-throughs and slowdowns and rolls to the hoop, and then making timely shots. And Herter hitting shots, that's it. And Monk playmaking and highlights and energy. That's when you feel like everything is kind of right with the Sacramento Kings. So, Coach, what about that? Do you feel good? This was asked to Mike Brown about where this team is right now and with what's ahead of them.
It's huge, Jay, because at the end of the day, I've never been part of a team that was great in this league where it didn't come from the players. And so it has to come from the players. It has to start there, and it has to end there. Sooner or later, they gonna hate hearing my voice, and they got to police one another and hold each other accountable. And when you get to that point and they really believe in it and it's really happening, you can have some special things happen for your team.
Yeah, he's talking about the buy-in. It's got to be there. I believe it is, and I believe they showed that last night with that kind of sense of urgency, the execution late in the game in a battle, really maybe an unexpected battle with San Antonio. Spurs played really well, created some problems, and probably outperformed what they normally do. This is a team that I didn't know this. G-Man referenced it. I didn't realize the San Antonio Spurs, as poorly as their record indicates, that they were so good in assists. They're number 2 in the league in assists. And the Kings are one of the best assist teams in the league, too. Spurs had 37 assists last night in a loss. I mean, they really move the ball well. They push you around. They set up good things. I mean, they're so well coached. And then you've got what you would deem as lesser talent than the Kings overall, inexperienced guys, raw guys, young guys. But they compete, they execute, and then if they're on their game, like Devin Vassell was, Keldon Johnson, I wouldn't even say Wembanyama was completely on his game. They're going to do some good things. Champagny had a great dunk in the game. I thought Sabonis' dunk on Collins was great. There were some really good highlights, some fun plays. And late, that lob from to Keegan Murray was a terrific highlight. The building just exploded. And those are fun moments. And that's what this team, I know we had in the pregame, there was some talk about the fact that for whatever reason, this team really comes together well on the road. It's more difficult to win on the road. But when you're just together strictly on some of these long road trips, and it's just your group, and there's really not a lot of other distractions. I mean, yeah, you're in different cities and you're traveling, but from the time on the plane, the bus, the hotel, the meetings, the film session and practice, and then the game, it's really your group and your group exclusively. At home, there's other distractions, and you'd rather be at home and play in front of a great crowd, a place you're familiar with, all the things that routine. But there's really a good bonding element. I think that really helped this team. We heard about that, right, in the cuts we were playing over the last couple of days. Everybody was kind of excited to get away from one another because they'd been so close and around each other so much. But there was also that love to be back together again and see what they could do and see some of the things, these goals that they've set. The coach asked everybody to be all in before the year. It sure seems like they are. Sure seems like they're committed. And, you know, whether you're playing any minutes, minimal minutes, or heavy minutes, you've got to do your part. And I think that's it. That's the answer for this team going forward is kind of that full buy-in, working on their strengths, accentuating that, I should say, and then working on some of the areas that are weaknesses. Now, what's still ahead, though, is a gauntlet coming up starting Sunday with the Los Angeles Clippers, a team they're chasing, a team they haven't defeated yet, and a team a lot of people feel would be a tough matchup if they met in the playoffs that they'd like to avoid. Well, we'll talk about that, and we'll tell you when we come back as well why tonight has a chance to be a bad night for the Kings, and they don't even play. We'll explain next.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday, and we're looking at a cool start to the day with some patchy areas of fog. For the afternoon, partly cloudy skies expected. Temperatures a bit warmer today with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater. Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
It's too bad the cameras weren't on during that break. I didn't realize, Chris, we were having a good game of catch. Multiple balls in here. This is Sactown Sports football. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know why this little football is so hard to throw.
They're little footballs.
It's a little football. And what was that? The purple ball, was that a King's ball? Or?
No, I think it's the mix.
Oh, the mix. Put them in the mix. All right, here we go. I told you it would be this time to give away our tickets to see Hannibal Buress. It's right now. Your opportunity. Jess was our big winner. She was on a quest. She got it done yesterday. Today, sorry, Jess, you can't win. You've already won. You're a winner. You're a winner in my book. But the rest of you, your chance. Right now, 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. Your chance to see Hannibal Buress. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports, so you can see Hannibal Buress at the historic Crest Theater in downtown Sacramento, March 22nd. All you have to do is dial up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. We're looking for caller number 4. Number 4, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 to score yourself a pair of tickets to see Hannibal Buress next month. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. So dial in. There they're coming. Go for it. Be caller number 4, and you'll get those pair of tickets. If you want more information, again, visit SactownSports.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, more on the Kings for sure with Brendan Nunes, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, as the Kings got that victory last night. We mentioned it earlier about the standings watch, something Dave and I, I'm sure, will do the rest of the way here, because every night there's something to be watching for. The Kings, if you want to define it as any progress made last night, well, really the teams they gained on, the Clippers, who lost, the Suns, who lost. That's the only two teams they gained on above them. But the gain on the Clippers, well, they're still 4.5 back of them. And the Suns, well, now they're just a half game back of them. They did gain on most of the teams behind them. Now, what's important there is really the Lakers, because the Lakers were the team directly behind them, and the Kings put one more game cushion, so they have a 3-game lead. Most of the teams they gained on are outside the top 10, like the Jazz, the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Blazers. So that was last night. What does tonight have in store? And, when you're in 8th, you can, to some extent, because it's so close, still control your own destiny. There's enough games. But it also would be nice to get help, right? I mean, if you can get help, you take help, you'll utilize it. Tonight, I guess there is an opportunity, if we're talking in terms of upsets, for the Kings to get help. But tonight has a chance to be a bad night for the Kings in the standings watch. And here's why. There are quite a few teams playing that the Kings concern themselves with. And if we look at it in the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the top 10 teams are playing tonight. The only teams that are not playing from the top 10 are the Sacramento Kings and who was the other team? The Dallas Mavericks. So those are the two teams that aren't playing in the top 10. Now, the problem with this, we don't have a lot of cross matchups in the West against two like teams in the top 10. These are all these 8 games are independent of one another, no one facing one another. But what you have is, for example, the Suns at the Rockets. Doesn't mean the Suns are guaranteed to win, but they are favored by about 5 points to win that game. I would predict that the Phoenix Suns would win that game. The next matchup in the standings watch for an opportunity to help the Kings. They got some room to try to catch the Clippers, but the Clippers are in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Clippers favored in that one by 10 points. You would expect the Clippers to win, not a guarantee, but so far 2 of the 8 games not boding well for the Sacramento Kings. The next one, the Thunder, who have pulled within 1 game of first. They're at home. They play one of the league's worst teams, 9-win Washington Wizards. Thunder certainly could lose, but they should be favored. They are favored by 17 points. So that's our third case of why tonight has a chance to be a bad night for the Kings on a night they don't even play. Now, again, if you get any kind of bonus, it flips it quickly, but you would figure the Suns should beat the Rockets, or could and should. The Clippers are heavy favorites against the Grizzlies. The Wizards at the Thunder, the largest favorites so far we've talked about. The next one is a good game, but the Pelicans are at home, and they're hosting the Miami Heat. Heat, a good team. Pelicans have a better record. Pelicans have been playing well, and the Pelicans are at home favored by 4 points. So not a gimme, but again, none of these teams underdogs to this point. The next one, the Golden State Warriors. Sure, they're behind the Kings, but they're at home, and they're hosting the Charlotte Hornets, who have 14 wins. Hornets have been playing a little bit better lately. They won last night in Utah, second out of a back-to-back for both teams, but the Warriors are favored by 13 points. So they're considered the team to win there. How about the defending champs? Second out of a back-to-back. They got to go on the road, though. They're in Portland to play the 15-win Portland Trailblazers. Nuggets on the road, favored by 10 points. You're getting a theme here of all the teams the Kings are involved in this 10-team race in the West. Everybody favored. The Lakers, yeah, they're behind the Kings. They're playing the second night of a back-to-back, but they're at home, and they're playing the San Antonio Spurs, who are also in the second night of a back-to-back, an 11-win team that battled the Kings, but the Lakers expect to get LeBron back tonight. They are favored by 11 points. And the last one, the one that may have a chance for a potential boost for the Kings, is the team they are farthest away from catching. It's the Timberwolves, who are at home, and they're facing the Milwaukee Bucks, who are just 3-7 with Doc Rivers, a very good team, but the Timberwolves at home favored by 4 points. So when you look at it that way, certainly the Kings can get a benefit in any of these, but I don't think it's crazy to think that the night could go 0-for-8 in regards to the Kings. As far as Vegas considered, that's the way it's supposed to go. Doesn't mean it will. So it's kind of a glass empty, half empty, or half full here. How do you look at it? The optimistic side is maybe you get an upset or two and the Kings gain some ground. That'd be great. But there are going to be more nights, I think, along the way where you're going to see the Clippers face the T-Wolves and the Suns against the Thunder and, the Mavericks against the Timberwolves, whatever. It's just all down the line where these, a team is definitely getting a loss that you care about. Tonight's not one of those nights. All 8 games could go. The teams they're in the race with, all are favored and all have favorable matchups. So it's part of the deal. It's the spot the Kings have created and the West has created. And this has been a thing that's been happening, I would say, more so this year than in the past, because I think it's been too easy of a narrative to say, oh, the West is too tough. You just, it's too hard to get into the top 10. That bottom part, the last couple of seasons, has been open. Before last year, when the Kings moved all the way up to 3rd, some of those years where they were trying to be the 10 and they were around 11 and 12 and near the end, and the Spurs were getting into the play-in with like 34 wins, 35 wins. The bottom part wasn't amazing. You might have had some great teams at the top, but you're just trying to get into the play-in at that point. The West had some openings before. Now, I think we've got it. I think we've got the 10 already. And I think those 5 teams that are out, I don't know how Utah, Houston can get in. And certainly Memphis, Portland, and San Antonio, I just think won't. They're just too far back with not enough games to go. Everybody's now above 500, and the cross matchups are going to be everything here. And so the games the Kings have left against Minnesota, OKC, 2 with the Clippers, another one with the Nuggets, They got another one with the Pelicans, 2 more with Dallas, 1 more with the Suns, 2 more with the Lakers. The only team in the top 10 that they don't face anymore are the Warriors. They're done with them. So how imperative are those games going to be? Not only for the Kings' record, but for the standings, for the tiebreaker, and in the standings watch and when they play and when they don't play. This is what's going to happen the rest of the way. And again, another reason why I think this is going to be a fantastic finish for the Kings and really for the NBA season. A lot of things to watch the rest of the way. So those are the games of the night tonight that you could check out. We got our winner for our Hannibal Buress tickets. Thank you so much. And we appreciate all of you checking us out and listening today. When we return, we've got a couple questions for you, like who's hot, who's not. We'll also recap how we did in Chris and I, our predictions for 3 in the key with the Kings and Spurs. And we'll give one ahead for Sunday's matchup with the Kings and the Clippers. That's all coming up on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Play and win with rewards that soar at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Sign up for Sky River Rewards and you'll get $20 free play to use on your first visit. Plus, you'll be the first to know about upcoming special events and offers. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, it's that time where Chris Villard will tell us who's hot, who's not. Let's start with the first. Chris, who is hot?
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, he is.
In his first game back from the All-Star break, he scored 21 points to go along with 19 rebounds and 15 assists. And the Nuggets 130-110 win over the Wizards. With that triple-double, he has now had a triple-double against every single opponent.
Oh, that was the last one?
That was the last one. It was Washington.
And he did it in the unique way with a 10-for-10 shooting?
Yeah, and that's only happened 3 times in NBA history. Do you know the other 2 people that have done that?
I think I saw that LeBron was one, right?
Nope.
Oh, no. Then I don't know.
Nikola Jokic and Nikola Jokic.
Well, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
He's very good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should give him credit for it, though.
Why?
He hasn't done one against the Nuggets.
He needs to trade for one day.
For one day.
To play against his team. and see if he can get a triple dub.
Because LeBron James and Russell Westbrook both have triple doubles against every team.
Maybe that's the stat I heard. Okay, so he has not done that against the Denver Nuggets. So he's the only other person to do that, and he's done it 2 other times?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, but if you're also keeping score at home, he's still 3 behind Sabonis in triple doubles this season.
Exactly. Right? Where's the love for Domantas Sabonis, who played sick, too? We have the flu game by Jordan. How about the, I don't know what
Montezuma's revenge game?
Yes, exactly. Don't drink the water game from Domantas Sabonis. All right, so that's who's hot. How about the other side? Who's not?
Anthony Davis.
AD all day.
The Lakers lost 128 to 110 to the Warriors. And I will let you hear from Darvin Ham what he thinks happened with the team last night.
Uh-oh.
Him having a little trouble with his voice tonight, I thought definitely impacted the game. My hat's off to him. He still came out and did the best job he could under the circumstances. But it's not just him, though. Everyone has to talk and cover for their teammates.
That's right. Anthony Davis lost his voice last night. Fortunately, he could not communicate with the team, which is maybe one of the reasons why they lost last night.
Also didn't have LeBron. Also, Steph went for 32. Could be.
But they would have kept Steph to lower points if AD had his voice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, I've heard AD talk. I'm just like, sometimes you're like, hey, have I heard that guy talk? Yeah. Yeah, it's important in communication, specifically defensively, and AD's having a good year defensively. Well, see if he gets his voice back for tonight's game. All right, so there you go. Who's hot, who's not, as the Sacramento Kings. They were hot last night, at least in the finish. How good were we on our predictions of that? Well, let's go for it. Let's recap our 3 in the key from the Kings and the Spurs. All right, Chris, let's see how we did. What's your hunch telling you?
I think I did well.
Okay.
You got your random stat.
I did early, too.
Yeah.
It was funny you texted me early in the game, too, because I was like, oh, Monk's sizing him up.
He was sizing him up. There's even one. There was like a breakaway, and it looked like he was slowing down to kind of see where everybody was at.
Yeah. Did you see Monk's dunk at the very end, like
of course.
To end the game? It didn't count, but it was pretty sweet. Between the legs dunk.
I kind of want him to do that for every game.
Exactly. The game's in the bag. They're yelling, light the beam. It doesn't count. Do it after the whistle, which he did. So it didn't matter. All right. So what we asked first in our predictions yesterday, in 3 in the key, 3 predictions. First up was Victor Wembanyama's blocks versus Sacramento Kings blocks. Victor Wembanyama a couple games ago had a triple-double where he had 10 blocks. Well, Victor last night had 5 blocks, and the Sacramento Kings had 6. Chris, I said Victor would have 6 and the Kings would have 2. You said Victor would have 4 and the Kings would have 3. So we roughly kind of tied there. Push, I guess. Free throw attempts, an area that the Kings have been working on, wanting to get better. We both said they would miss 6. They only missed 4, but they were 10 of 14. I think you get the win here. You said 12 of 18. I said 20 of 26. The weird part of the first half, not only were there very few fouls attempts, there were 6 fouls called in the game, 3 on each team.
The first quarter,
none. Yeah. And I thought it was physical. There was a play or two where Lyles was knocked to the ground. I thought Keldon Johnson had a good case. He was hit hard. The Spurs were angry at calls. I thought it was as physical. I'm like, are the refs like, wow, they're totally letting
come on, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's go.
They have somewhere to go. Much more called in the second half, but not, I didn't think anything was super egregious. And Mike Brown lost another challenge. That was one of our bets, but our guesses. And lastly, we asked for a random stat in the game. I said Kevin Huerter would have 4 or more 3-pointers. Kevin Huerter, Red Velvet, knocked down 5 of 8. And Chris, you said Malik Monk would catch a body, and it would be Victor Wembanyama. Then you would add that he would not only dunk on him, he would dunk and then spin around him like a pole.
Slide around him
just all the way down. I can just picture, would he get at the end and just be still hanging onto his feet? Or would he have just like landed on his own feet and run off?
No, he'd go with like butt on the ground.
Exactly. And still like with his arms around his feet, his legs. Oh my goodness. That needed to happen just for comedy relief and Malik. I know he wanted to get him. I know he did.
Like you saw it, like he would go up to him like,
Yeah, maybe. Sabonis probably had the dunk of the night. Champagne had a really good dunk though, for the San Antonio Spurs. All right.
Sabonis had a good one too.
Yeah, he did. He got Collins very, very good. All right, so that was last game. We got a game coming up on Sunday. So what do you say we do 3 in the key for that? Chris, I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to have you pick a topic.
Oh, okay.
We've got random stat coming up. If you want time to think, I'll give you the first one that I wrote down. The second one's open. I go, you know what? I'm going to let Chris participate.
All right, you go ahead with the first one.
All right, the first one, I'm thinking about Kings and Clippers, and every time I think about them, the thing that comes to mind is maybe the greatest game ever played a year ago. Just an incredible classic right out of the All-Star break where the Kings went to L.A. and won, 176, 175 in overtime, something like that. Not a lot of disparity in that game, though the Kings had a nice comeback to force overtime or 2 overtimes and ultimately win. So, Chris, we want the largest lead from each team. The largest lead from the Clippers and the largest lead from the Sacramento Kings. I'm going to say the Clippers are going to have a 12-point lead, and I'm going to say the Kings will have a 10-point lead.
I'm going to say a 14-point lead for the Clippers
Okay.
and an 8-point lead for the Kings.
Okay. Category number 2.
We haven't done this in a while.
All yours.
Who will have the last made field goal for the Kings?
Last made basket by the Kings. It's going to be close. If it is, it's likely a starter. You know what? I'm not going to overthink it. He's fourth quarter Fox for a reason. I'm taking De'Aaron Fox.
I think it's going to be a Keegan 3.
Oh, a 3-gan. Keegan Murray 3. All right. Probably have some Kings fans down there chanting, Keegan Murray. All right. Lastly, a random stat for the Kings and Clippers game. I've got mine first here for you. There are going to be 7 players in this game with 20 or more points. 7 players combined, 20 or more points.
For the Kings?
Nope. I wish. I hope. What do you got?
I am going to say that Keegan 3 is going to be a game winner.
Oh, yes. Buzzer beater?
No, just a game. I'll just go with game winner.
Okay. Like a good buzzer beater. Buzzer beaters, if I could pick that, I mean, they're great on the road, but that one you want at home. But we'll take that. Like
I prefer them on the road.
Do you?
Yeah.
Just the quiet, like the from the crowd, and you can only hear the Kings celebrating.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty cool because it's mayhem at home. You just can't. You're just kind of in.
Because like a lot of the time, the other fans are like stunned. It's almost like, what happened?
Yeah, and just to see their players too, just like shoulders down.
Like that one, I think it was in Detroit when Buddy Hield had that game winner,
and he's running around,
just ran away.
What would you do if you hit a game winner? What would you have a move? Would you have a thing?
I don't think I would ever be in that position to hit a game winner, but if I did,
it's a triple threat.
I would. If I did make that shot, I think I would wait for like all my teammates to come around, and I just put my hands up like, yeah, that's what you expected.
See, like, I mean, whether you like it or not, like Dame time, it's like that's a pretty iconic gesture, I guess.
He also had the wave goodbye.
The wave, that was just brutal to Paul George and the Thunder. The funny thing is, if your description is right, Murray with the last basket, the 3, and Murray with the game winner, he's to me the funniest one. Like if you're talking about Kings players as candidates as game winners, we've seen Barnes hit him. He's pretty cool when he makes it. Fox has the cool swag, like I'm nice, I'm bleeping nice. I don't know what else he would do. Sabonis would just be happy. I think Herter would be happy and kind of play it cool, but Keegan, I don't even know what we would get out of him.
I think we get that. Remember when he was going off on those 3-pointers, and he's on the bench and he's like trying to keep his smile in.
Yeah,
I think it'd be that.
I think he knows how significant it is. I think that he would get like think about like a character on Saturday Night Live when they're not trying to break and they're constantly smirking. I think because Monk and Fox and so everybody would keep, the coaches would be egging him, just keep going. And I think that's what would get him as opposed to the moment. And that'd be fun. I'd like to see Keegan hit a game winner. It's
going to happen.
It's happening on Sunday. Kings and Clippers.
I don't know. Sneak preview.
Yes, exactly. And Chris called it. You heard it here first. Tonight, we mentioned the Clippers do play. They're in action. They play the Memphis Grizzlies. Trying to figure out why the Clippers, the Clippers for the Kings, I would say before this year, the Kings have played them well. The two matchups this year, Sacramento did not. The one, I think there's a little bit of a reason for it. It was right after the Kings had an emotional game, if I'm not mistaken, or was it the night after? Yeah, they had the emotional game in the in-season tournament, I think, when they beat the Warriors, and then had the Clippers the next night, and they were just lethargic. And Kawhi Leonard was great. They've really had an issue with Kawhi. Kawhi's played them very well. James Harden was good in that first matchup. Kings lost by double figures. And if I remember right, was that a game where Sabonis he didn't get a double-double. Wow, think about this night. The first time they played, we haven't seen these numbers from Sabonis in a long time. Clippers beat the Kings here, 131-117. Sabonis had 11 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists against Zubats. That just doesn't even seem right. Fox went for 40. Double figures as well for Monk with 15. And Sasha had 13. That was just a tough night. You had, Keegan was out. So Barnes had 9. Herter had 7. Duarte had 7. Yikes. Let's look at the second matchup between these two teams. Also, that one was played in, the second was in LA. I think it was something similar. It was a few weeks later. Yeah, Kings lost 119-99. In that one, Sabonis got to 15 and 10, had 3 assists. Fox had 14. Murray had 17. Barnes and Herter had 5 total. No one off the bench in double figures. So, yeah, this year they have had trouble with the Clippers. And that lineup of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Zubats, Harden, they start man now. They'll also play Westbrook, of course. Norman Powell's an issue. We see them use Plumlee and Tice. They're going to run a lot of bodies at Domantas Sabonis. So that certainly is going to present itself as a challenge for the Sacramento Kings on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about that game coming up with our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Brendan Nunez. Also, look back at the Kings' victory last night and what else we can expect going forward for the Kings. We've got that coming up in our final hour. Also in the final hour, hey, it's Friday. It's time to end the week the right way with Friday Fun and Games and a little celebrity birthdays. All that straight ahead in our final hour. Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Wrong of the rim. And Fox comes up with a steal. Took it away. That looked like an automatic two on the backdoor cut and a perfectly placed assist pass. But De'Aaron Fox said, not so fast. And he comes up with the deflection. Here's Fox with a pull-up 17-footer. He's got the bucket. Kings with 9 unanswered points. 30 seconds to go.
Timely finish by the Sacramento Kings last night. The great G-Man, Gary Gerald, on the call. Of course, all the games can be heard right here on Sactown Sports. Final hour of the show, final hour of the week. Jason Ross, Christopher Laud here, Carmichael Dave off, back with us on Monday. We had those of you on our YouTube, we appreciate that, are asking who was the winner of our Hannibal Buress contest. It was John. John got the last 2 tickets. Jess was the big winner yesterday. John, the winner today. All right, we're all winners now because we're going to be joined on our Folsom Lake Honda hotline by our next guest, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Brendan Nunez, joining us. Brendan, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Jason. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Feeling better. I know you were a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, I definitely was. I missed my first game of the year, and I'm not happy about it. But, so hopefully my voice holds up during this, but I'm doing all right.
Okay, so you missed your first game of the year. How do you feel that Domantas Sabonis was doubtful, and then he goes through shoot-around? He only puts up a triple-double against Wembanyama, and you missed the game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just not built the same way, maybe I got to blame my parents for, I don't know.
Yeah.
But props to him for sure. It's
Absolutely.
Funny, actually, the only other time I was sick earlier this year, Trey Lyles ended up missing a game around the same time. So going around, but I know that it was interesting. De'Aaron Fox mentioned post-game talking on NBC, something I would have missed if I was there, that, there was a little, he said fight, but in a playful way between Domas and whatever members of the staff about him playing and how many minutes he was going to play. And that just shows the competitive nature of him, to go out there and do exactly what he does on a nightly basis. And you could tell early on with the rotations, Fox was playing a little bit longer in that first quarter because they didn't want to run Domas until like the 2-minute mark, like they usually do, and try to make things a little bit easier on him. But he's just a competitor. And to go 22, 11, and 11 and only miss 4 shots is just, it's amazing, but it's also just what he does at this point, it feels like.
Yeah, and I think the other part about it, maybe if he didn't play as well and he lost his double streak, I mean, that's not what anybody wanted, but I think the message he also sent there, and if there was that internal battle, like, hey, maybe it's best to sit you one more day and get you ready for this weekend, but instead, he did play. He played well. And if coach is talking about a sense of urgency and the players are talking about the standings and how all these games are important, one of your leaders and best players said, I'm playing no matter what. And I think he showed that last year too, Brendan, when he broke his thumb and there was really a window there where he could have opted for surgery. Instead, he played through it. And I think his kind of commitment to every game really stands out to me, and I hope stands out to his teammates.
Yeah, and I'd imagine that it does, and I think that somewhat the same could be said for De'Aaron. He's had his ups and downs throughout the course of the season, but he's been playing through a shoulder thing for a little while now. He had his ankle injury earlier in the year that he came back a little bit earlier than expected from. He's also a guy that is just a competitor. He wants to be out there. And I think that it'd be hard, borderline impossible for that not to be at least a little infectious to some of these other guys, no pun intended. But, you know, I think that does definitely set the tone, and that's going to be huge in this last 27 games of this season now, as this team's going to really go as far as Fox and Sabonis take them. And you could throw maybe Murray and Monk in that second tier, but I really think that this is about what are you going to get from Fox and Sabonis. And at this point, it feels like you know what you're getting from Sabonis. So I kind of point towards Fox of, all right, can you get back closer to that beginning of the season level?
So, Brendan, as we're talking with Brendan Nunes, our Sactown Sports Kings insider, him and Frankie do a great job on Sactown Sports. Check out their work, constantly covering this team at games, at practices, really dialed in. What were some of your takeaways then? You observed it in a different way. Normally you're at the game and you're in pregame, postgame, all this stuff, but, you know, battling your own elements there with being under the weather a bit. You saw it maybe from a different lens. What were your takeaways from last night?
Sorry, finishing up a cough. I swear I was actually sick. Yeah, it was definitely a different experience. I had a little FOMO, I will admit, with Wemby and all that.
Yeah.
But allows me to rewind plays a little bit and not feel bad and pay attention to some details. And I will say, like, the defense is really bad from both teams. You know, the Spurs are the worst three-point shooting team in the league, and there's been so much emphasis on improving the closeouts and becoming a better three-point shooting team. Before this game, Mike Brown had said at practice that if they were just near average at defending the three ball instead of dead last, they'd be 8th in defensive rating this year. And there's such an emphasis on cleaning that up, and they shoot 44% from the three, that being the Spurs. And you can see the frustration with that very early timeout from Mike Brown, and he acknowledges post-game that it's about that there was a lack of a second effort, that sure, you made the wrong initial rotation, but you still need to run and figure out a way to try to make an impact from there. So honestly, the defense was a tough experience with both teams going over 70 in the paint, but they found a way to win. And when it comes down to it, that's what matters. And I think, honestly, I didn't really expect a blowout because it just doesn't feel like this year's Kings team. And it doesn't make me feel any worse about this next Clippers game either, which doesn't really make sense. But I feel like that's just the year we've had. Yeah, I'm with you because, I mean, look, I don't know that there might be carryover in the way your confidence is in the way you're playing, but then the matchups are different. I mean, Wembanyama is unique. He's one of one. They won't have to look at him. Now you've got Harden, you got George, you got Kawhi. I mean, these guys are all different kind of entities, and sometimes that lines up better in a matchup. Sometimes it's worse. So I don't know if it mattered if you beat the Spurs by 1, lost by 20, or beat them by 20 for the Clipper game. I mean, they're just separate chapters in this book. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great challenge for this Kings team. You know, the Clippers are totally rolling right now, and they rolled off a win against Denver not long ago, them being the Kings, and some good wins recently. There's a couple against Denver. You can go to OKC, you can go to Minnesota. And if you get yourself some confidence against the top of this group, even more so than what they already have, these are big for come postseason and just where the mental state of this team will be at. So I still think they will find a way to remain confident, even if they aren't able to pull it out, but it would make a notable difference in my mind. And I think they got a good chance. You know, the physicality is going to be really important, and the consistency. Mike Brown's always saying play for as close to 48 minutes as possible, because 48 minutes isn't, you know, reasonable. Everybody's going to have their lapses, but can you play for 40, for 42, and just limit the amount of lapses, because you got to get it even closer to 48 than you did against San Antonio if you want a chance against the Clippers. Yeah, it was interesting being there in person last night. One of the couple of the observations I had on what you brought up. Rubbing it in, huh, Jason? What's that? Just rubbing it in, huh? Exactly. One of the things that was noticeable, though, was the timeout you referred to, Brendan. It was obvious. So, I mean, the Kings had worked on it. They addressed it. They talked about it publicly. And it was about the second or third possession, just an uncontested, wide-open corner three, blown assignment, timeout, Mike Brown. A couple more of those happened. Then as the game went on, I felt Mike Brown gave one of the louder, you know, from what we could see up where we sit, you know, cheers, and he was clapping his hands when Malik had a closeout block of a three. And then ironically, the game's maybe key play was a game-saving defensive. They credited De'Aaron with a block, felt a little bit more like a steal. But when he was burnt backdoor and he trailed that play,
and took it away from Vassell. That was an amazing defensive play by De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, it really was. And it's funny, like you mentioned, he gets beat at the beginning of that play and, just falls for Vassell looking like he's going to come off that DHO with a little fake and gets beat downhill. And coach acknowledged postgame that was happening throughout the course of the game more than they would have liked throughout the whole team. And when guys are going backdoor, that they just can't do it without resistance. They need to be going through somebody. And it didn't happen on that play. And if he doesn't get that block or if he, commits a foul, I think we're talking about that play very differently, but it's a credit to his recovery skill because you're not going to make the right decision every single time. It was a quick move by Vassell, who had been cooking all night, really. Some easy looks, but that helped him knock down some tough ones, I think. But it's a great effort, multiple efforts. Again, it has been huge in one of their defensive staples, and to see your stars doing it, and then for him to come back down and ice the game on the other end with a mid-range. I feel like there were more mid-ranges in this game as well. And he gets his little skip going after. I feel like whenever you see that skip, that De'Aaron is on a roll.
Yeah, he had a big fourth quarter, 11 in the fourth, ended with 28. To have 4 guys with 20 or more, Sabonis with a triple-double. We talked about him. Kevin Huerter, to see him start the game hot, coming off the screens, hitting open threes, playing well in the two-man game with Sabonis. This is an element, Brendan, that has not been consistent this year with the Kings and Kevin Huerter. But when it's there, like it was last night, this feels a little bit more like the well-rounded Kings that we saw for a good chunk of the year last year.
It makes a really big difference with their offense. The thing I point to often with Huerter is his pace, but not only in the open court, in the half court. Like if you watch, it feels like he's sprinting through everything. Mm-hmm. I get tired just trying to keep up watching him. He's got great pace, great conditioning. That's something he talked about over the offseason. It's not like he was in bad shape before or anything, but could benefit from getting in even better shape going into this year with how high pace they play and the physicality that's going to come on the defensive end as well, or at least that's expected. So the spacing that he provides, not only when he's shooting, but when he's cutting at that full speed, I think does so much for the Sacramento offense. And you have some of these other guys as well. Malik Monk goes into the same sort of category about when he's rolling. This offense is so dynamic. And I think the same thing for Murray, and Harrison Barnes will have his nights too. So really, like I said, I think that Fox and Sabonis are obviously the head of the ship and you need them to be consistent. But then ideally, if you can get 2 of the 4 to have, or 2 of those 3 between Huerter, Barnes, 2 of the 4, Huerter, Barnes, Murray, and Monk to have a good night, I feel like that's a decent formula offensively and something reasonable to expect.
The other thing that was brought up in the couple days of practice before they got to their first game last night was free throw shooting. Mike Brown clearly addressed that. That's an area he'd like to see better in the offense. 10 of 14's not awful. It's not great either. That to me is kind of the bizarre entity of this year's group. Like Fox is a better free throw shooter than he's doing. Sabonis is kind of hit or miss sometimes. Monk has been great, and then he's had games where he's missed 3 and 4 in a game. What do you think about that part of the Kings as we get to this stretch run here, the free throw line?
Yeah, honestly, Jason, I have no clue. It's so confusing to me. And I do think it becomes a little bit of a mental block, right? There was that stretch midway through the season or so when I think back to like the missed free throws against Milwaukee, I believe it was, that Malik missed 2 late in that game. And there were some other big missed free throws not far between that. And then Domantas Sabonis, after a point of, okay, we've probably asked about this for maybe about the last 5 games now. He's like, honestly, I think it's better if we just don't even talk about it. So I think it's kind of a mental thing, and that's the nature of free throws. They're not this bad of a free throw shooting team. I think that the big takeaway for me, though, is that it's not only about the conversion rate, but it's also the free throw attempts that they want to be able to get up. They're at 21.6 this year. That's 21st in the league. They have guys that can get to the line.
Yeah.
Harrison was getting to the line a lot more last year. And I trust that, these guys are going to get closer to their season averages. And when it comes to percentage, where last year we're talking about them as a 12th in the league and 6th in attempts. So I think the percentage is just naturally going to rise back up because these guys are better than how they performed, but they could benefit from getting there more often too.
when you look at where they are in the standings, Mike Brown said it. I think the players sensed it yesterday. Kind of, they're in this playoff mode, and I think it's healthy for them. That was what I was saying earlier in the show, Brendan. That last year things were a little bit easier. wasn't smooth sailing, but when you're third and you kind of hang on to that, you can dictate the terms a little bit. Now they're eighth, and they're battling every night. And I feel like this playoff mode, with kind of a strict goal ahead of them, is probably what this group needs. At least that's what I think. What are your thoughts on kind of being in this playoff mode this far out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of teams are going to kind of be here. This same group of New Orleans, Dallas, Phoenix, and with the Kings from 5 to 8 all feel really close. You got a game and a half between New Orleans at the top and Sacramento at the bottom. And that was a big win because, you don't win that game, all of a sudden you're real close to the Lakers and Warriors right below. And quietly, the Warriors beating the Lakers was also a pretty big win for Sacramento. So
sure.
I think that a lot of teams are going to be pretty locked in at this point, but for how inconsistent this Kings team has been, you hope that limits maybe some of those up and downs that we've seen earlier in this season. And it should allow us to learn a decent bit before the postseason.
Yeah, and a really tough week ahead. They got back-to-back Sunday with the Clippers at LA, back here Monday for the Heat, then 2 more road games, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. This next week is brutal, but let's ask you about Sunday's game with the Clippers. They've lost to them twice. They've not been very good in either game against the Clippers, though in previous years they've played them well. What's your thought on Sunday's matchup in LA?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those where the physicality is going to be really important. And I think another one of those games where we're probably going to end up talking about the size difference after a little bit. And it's going to call for some tough defensive assignments for guys like De'Aaron and Keegan. And are they going to be able to step up to the plate? It's tough, I feel like, usually to lose to a team 3 times in a row. And I know that happened earlier in the year against Minnesota. Actually, I think they're up to 4 losses in a row, which is a little bit ridiculous. But I think that they're going to be very competitive. It's just going to be about the defensive end, really, in my mind. And that's not to take away from the Clippers defense. They're about middle of the pack with their 4th in offensive rating. And they're just so dynamic. And if you end up in switches, you need to be clean with your rotations out of that. The 3-point defense is, of course, going to be really important for the rest of this year, but really against this Clippers team who ranks 2nd in 3-point percentage. So it's a tough matchup, but these are the type of ones that I feel like you need to circle as, okay, can we beat these type of teams? Or, well, I'm sure they believe they can, but let's go prove that they can. Because I think that Denver, they've matched up well with Minnesota, and the Clippers seem like a little bit of a tough one because of that size and versatility in my mind.
So, Brendan, what else are you working on coming up on SactownSports.com?
Yeah, I still gotta confirm all this, but I'm thinking about going into that 3-point defense that's been getting talked about a lot in some of those details of the closeouts. A lot of, he doesn't want guys flying by, but you want to get into the chest and the trickiness of doing that without giving up a 3-point foul, which is one of the worst things you could do in that scenario, and the rotations and all that. But there's a huge emphasis on not only that, but also increasing the pace on the other end of the floor. So going to go in one of those directions.
All right. Well, I want to encourage everybody to check out your great work at Sactownsports.com. And don't worry about missing last night at being under the weather. They gave the media all the best swag. We had the best media meal of the year.
Oh, I bet.
It was another night out there, and I know we'll see you out there soon. Brendan, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you out there soon, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Appreciate it, Jason. All
right, thank you. That's Brendan Nunez. You can check out his work all the time, him and Frankie and Emil. Everybody's doing a lot of work on our SactownSports.com website. We got Nate and Joe. Just everybody's contributing there, and all our shows, podcasts, everything. It's kind of your one-stop shop, catch-all there for anything Sactown sports, Kings-related, Niners, local news. Just check it out. We really, really encourage you to do so. So the Kings got it done last night. It was, I think a lot of times that's why I like to talk to different people, get different perspective. Brendan's first thought was the lack of defense on the 3-point line. That was the point of emphasis. And Mike Brown, to call that timeout right away, I thought what was one of the funnier elements in the game was that early miscommunication defensively. Mike Brown calls that upset timeout. I mean, it's early in the game, and it's like you guys just started. Mike Brown also had one earlier this year in the first minute where he called a timeout. But
that was a key smart timeout.
That was. So he calls the timeout, but he's kind of from the Coach Popovich coaching tree. And then about 2 sequences later, the Kings did something that the Spurs got exploited on, and Pop calls a timeout. So we had 2 timeouts in the first quarter, and I don't even know if it's, double-digit points for each team. Then you get a third timeout in the first quarter. Usually there's 2 timeouts in the quarter in the end of the quarter, but I was thinking each team was going to be out of timeouts, and maybe each one was going to show each other up. Like it was a little bit of a nod, but also ego, and like, no, I see you're upset, but I'm going to call this timeout. Oh, you're upset? Well, now I'm calling a timeout. That to me was an interesting element of the game last night, kind of the back and forth and the coaching battle there. Pop, man, there was one of the sequences where San Antonio didn't get a call. Kings went the other end, got a transition hoop, timeout called. Pop spent the entire break going after Josh Tiven, who is an experienced referee, gave him a long leash, never gave him the technical, but he was hot. He was furious with the officiating last night. Thinking back on it, I don't remember any, massive blunders with the officiating. I know Mike Brown called the challenge, which from my view, recollecting on this, right away, Malik Monk was like, challenge. Well, Malik wasn't involved in the play. Doesn't mean he can't have an opinion on it, which is always the difficult one for a coach. To me, Chris, I think about those dynamics where you're a coach and one of your important players is like, challenge. Now, you got to read your player, because Buddy Hield used to do that basically on every play. And you're like, okay, I'm not challenging everything. But what it looked like was Jordy Fernandez was pointing like, Malik, yeah, I get what you're saying, but ask Davion, because Davion's the one that's called for the foul. Like if Davion's going, hey, let's challenge this. I mean, Davion doesn't do that a lot. And I think they kind of looked at him, and I think Davion's like, yeah, let's go. And then they ultimately challenged. They lost it.
But that was the one I'm just like, there's no way they're winning this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, when we see it live, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I thought he fouled him. Then I saw the first replay. I go, oh, maybe not. But then you kind of see an arm on his back and maybe like across the leg too a little bit. So I'm like,
I think with those, once the foul is called, you could find almost any point of contact to call a foul.
Yeah. And to me, look, I know people have philosophies. I'm thinking of what is the net win, because sometimes teams have literally called a challenge on a shot or to protect a foul. But let's say the Kings are shooting and Wembanyama fouled Barnes and they don't think it's a foul, but the Kings got the rebound. They challenge. I think that's a wasted challenge, because you could technically win and not get the foul on Wembanyama unless he's in foul trouble is why you do it. But the Kings retain possession. So it's like, yeah, you won the challenge, but it's Kings ball. You want to do it where you're taking points off the board, preserving fouls, getting the ball back, those kind of things. So it's a little weird. Those challenges that you win, quote unquote, in the tradition of saying that you won the challenge to keep the timeout and to allow another challenge, but don't get the reward of points in your favor or points off the board for them or getting the ball seem weird.
Have they won 2 challenges in the same game?
That's a great question. I don't think so. Because I think G-Man, I remember he read the stat last night after they lost the challenge of what Mike Brown's record was. And I want to say, I think they were down, like they were 4 below 500, if that makes sense, 4 to 6 below 500. So if I'm saying they've won 10, lost 16, or maybe it's 20 and 20, whatever it is. Because I don't think they've challenged every game, and maybe there's been games where they've had 2 challenges. But that's a really good one, Chris. I don't know if they've won 2 challenges in a game. That actually is a sneak peek on maybe a future random stat for me. Just take a stab in the dark.
It's a real stab in the dark. That's a bigger stab in the dark than my Keegan Murray game winner.
Yeah. Or then what did Simone have one time? Marvin Bagley, 10 assists.
No.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, I think he's had 10 in his career. But tonight might be the night.
There would be questions asked if he had 10 assists.
It was like, wait, what did the stat crew do here for this one? Thanks again to Brendan Nunez for joining us here. For anything you ever miss, again, we encourage you to go back to Sactown Sports. Let's get a couple more comments post game to kind of put a wrap on the game last night. And here's one more from Mike Brown about this playoff feel right now for the Kings.
Every time we step on the floor, especially from this point forward, because of where we're sitting in the standings, it's a different feeling that they haven't gone through. And we have to perform at a high level to get a win just to get into the playoffs. So we're fighting for our lives right now. And it's great because you need experience in order to grow. And sometimes you need adversity in order to grow. And that's the best or the quickest way you'll be able to learn, by going through something, falling on your face, and getting up and figuring it out, because that's when it stings the most. So I like all this stuff for us. We need it. We're going to embrace it. And at the end of the day, I believe this group can get it done.
He's got to believe that, and they've got to believe that, and they showed it last year, right? But it's different circumstances this year, different spot in the standings, different race implications. Health has been there for them for the most part. And I think the other hidden gem in this for why it's been more difficult is a lot of teams have been healthy this year. Kings had the benefit of that clearly over the rest of the league last year. Less so this year. More and more teams. I think we're seeing less load management, right? Less resting. Some teams were doing that last year. I'm like, the Kings aren't resting players. They're going for it. They were in that surge and point of emphasis to make the postseason, to break that playoff drought. Now they want to get back there. And so, last night's the night they could have sat Sabonis out because of health. If there was an internal fight, he won, and then he played great. Recorded yet another league-leading triple-double, ending the night with 22, 11, and 11. And want to get one last thought on that from Fox, what he had to say about Sabonis.
I mean, we've talked about it before. You try not to. You don't want to become numb to what he's doing. Like that's not normal. It's only been done, a few times in this game, and the fact that he's available every night is big for us because he plays so hard. He plays so physical. He could easily be one of those guys that take a few nights off. But like I said, he came in today, and you couldn't get him to not play today. He was a game time decision, but he wasn't not going to play. So that's leading by example. If something's hurt, he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna go out there and play, give him my all, and then you live with the results. And that's what you want out of somebody who's one of the best players in this league, who should be an MVP candidate. I don't know how many of those guys haven't missed a game yet, but he's definitely up there.
He did it. He battled through it, and hopefully he'll be feeling even better Sunday when the Kings take on the Clippers. All right, last half hour coming up. We will have celebrity birthdays, a few other news and notes items coming your way, and then we'll close out the show. Styles and Watkins, we'll have them in here for some Friday fun and games. That's all coming up here on Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
It's a toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30,
20 and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line. On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia. Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
So Nate leaves the room and says, ask Alan about his poo cheddar story. Alan's not in here right now.
He's not.
Chris Watkins is.
Yes.
Do you know the poo cheddar story?
I was there for the poo cheddar story.
So, okay.
It's really funny, but yeah.
Should Alan tell it?
Yes.
I mean, not that you can't.
Definitely.
But
he should tell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good?
It's good. It's funny. It's
I think I might know where this is going, but I'm not certain.
I'm trying to think. Oh no, you weren't there. No, yeah.
It was last night?
It was last night.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, you had to fill in on game day. So.
Yeah. He I almost did another walk by. You were still on last night in your post game.
Yes.
And then I think Alan was going to see you as well. He's like, "Oh, Chris is still on."
It's not true.
He wasn't?
I never saw him.
Well, no, he didn't go. He was walking towards you, and then I'm like, "Oh, looks like you're doing something." He goes, "I was looking, but Chris is still on." And then we both kind of walked out at the same time. So that was it. But no, we didn't bother you.
No,
we left you.
Yeah, no. Feel
Good,
free.
an
Matt
extended
George
show.
came by and bothered me. It's
Yeah.
fine. It, makes the show better. People love to see faces that aren't mine. So yeah, stop on by.
Extended show. Lots to talk about last night.
Lots to talk about. Yeah. I mean, we went from, just in general talking about the Spurs. They've had a crazy season, talking about how crazy Wemby. It felt like Wemby had a bad game yesterday. And then you look at his stat line and he had 5 steals, 5 blocks. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, he almost had, it's really rare. I brought this up earlier in the show. Like, we're all enamored with double doubles, triple doubles.
Yeah.
The 5x5 game doesn't happen that much. And it's obviously 5 points, 5 boards, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks. He missed, or 5 steals.
Yeah.
He missed with 4 assists.
Yeah.
The last one that happened was in 2019. And it was at Golden One Center. Nurkic did it to the Kings.
Really?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
But and I think if I looked it up right, I think there's been 11 since 1995.
Really?
Just 11 total.
So that's probably really the thing that's like, if that happens, that's
a big deal.
That should be the biggest
a 5x5
game.
game.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I mean, because
did you happen to see that high school girls player that had a quintuple double yesterday?
Really? No. So she got blocks and steals.
It was like 11 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals, and 10 blocks.
My goodness.
What? How is that even possible? Oh my God.
I think, but like the final score of the game was like 30-22.
But she was
Love
effective.
that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, the 5x5 games in 2019, Nurkic did it here. He had 24, 23, 7 assists, 5 and 5.
What?
Yeah.
That's like the greatest game I've ever heard.
For Nurkic. AD went 12, 16, 6, 5 and 5. But the best one on here, I saw someone that had a really incredible one. But Olajuwon did it a couple times. Kirilenko, Vlade did it as a Laker in 95. But since 2000, here's your list. Jamal Tinsley.
Okay.
So the fact that he got 5 blocks.
That's insane.
Actually got 5 blocks is crazy. Kirilenko did it 3 times.
Wow.
Marcus Camby once. Batum once. Draymond did it in 2015, AD in 18, and Nurkic in 19. Wemby's going to do it a lot.
That's so crazy. Yeah, I mean that's such an interesting stat line too, because it feels like only certain people can get that. You know, like AD makes sense. Nurkic makes no sense at all. Jamal Tinsley definitely makes no sense. Draymond, I'm honestly surprised he only has one of those. That seems like that would be called the Draymond.
Yeah. So it's the blocks and steals, I think, are the hard. I mean, because people are like Shea Gilgeous-Fox, they can get 5 steals.
5 steals, but the 5 blocks.
5 blocks. I mean, De'Aaron, they gave him the block on that last defensive play.
Did they really?
Yeah. It felt like a steal, but they called it a block.
Yeah, that was incredible. To me, that was the play of the night.
Absolutely.
Like, I felt like, obviously Sabonis had crazy. Poor Zach Collins. I said it on the post game, but I hope Zach Collins' family was not watching last night because it felt personal. It must have felt personal. Keegan got him, then Sabonis got him. But to me, the biggest play of the day easily was De'Aaron getting that block, I guess, and then hitting that mid-range jump shot right after. That's clutch player of the year stuff.
That was the capper.
Yep.
You know what? We have a random stat that we tried in our pick, our 3 in the key. Chris wanted Malik Monk to dunk on Wembanyama.
Okay.
So to catch a body, but he gets Wembanyama and then wraps himself around him and slides around him like, come on. The visual is perfect, isn't it? And I could see Malik doing that.
Me and Alan were just looking up. There's an Onion article that says Wemby got his head lodged in between the rim and the backboard. They got wedgied in between the backboard last night. That's great.
Were you down on the court before the game?
I was, but I didn't get to see him warm up. I got to see him enter the arena, which was crazy in itself. I've never seen a Louis Vuitton jacket that big, but that was its own spectacle. But no, I didn't get to watch him warm up. I saw tons of people were down there. I kind of figured it would be a little bit of a madhouse down there.
When he came out too, we were on game night and watched him like the sweatpants. I was thinking the same thing. He came out like in like a. I'm like, what's but his waist is tiny, so it's like probably like a 38, and then the pant length though is
just a curtain.
Yeah, exactly. How do you make these? My goodness, he was fun to watch though in person.
Yeah, I mean Greg Popovich. I cannot believe that the same Greg Popovich coached those like Boris Diaw, the teams that were going head to head with the Heat. I can't believe it's the same coach that coached that team that is also coaching this team because Jason. That is some of the most undisciplined basketball I think I've seen in a very long. Just like the shot attempts, the amount of threes he took, I thought was out of control. They were step back threes. Yeah, for Victor. It just felt to me like they're just like, we're gonna let him do whatever he wants, and then when we're actually gonna be trying to win games, that's when we're gonna try and take things away. It'll be interesting to see how he develops because it was a question with the Kings a ton when they were in their losing years. Like, how much bad habits is he picking up in this season, and how long does it take to get rid of those bad habits? Like, I wonder if it's working great. He's 20-10 right now for the season, but I just wonder if it would have been better to kind of, move him along slowly and kind of, slowly have him do things and then give him more instead of it feels like they're saying, do everything now
and be great
then
at it.
Be great at it, or smooth it out, and then when you're really trying to win games, that's when we're gonna try and trim the fat. But I don't know if that's the easier way of doing things. But what do I know?
Well, and the interesting thing to me that I didn't know until last night, the Spurs are number 2 in the league in assists.
Yeah.
Like for a team that's bad,
They had
they had 37.
37. Oh, wow. They gave him an extra one.
Yeah,
Okay.
they threw one in there.
Yeah, why
Little
not?
bonus assist. Like we're going to throw in our celebrity birthdays right now before we get to Friday Fun and Games in our last segment. Celebrity birthdays brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies. All right, guys. Chris and Chris.
Hey.
We'll compete here in celebrity birthdays. Happy birthday to, let's start, where do we want to start with? Andrew?
Dice Clay.
Garfield.
Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, that's a lot less exciting.
Yeah.
Oh,
how old is Wiggins today?
Wiggs.
Wiggs.
Man, that's a tough one. I'll say he's 29 today.
He is 27.
Okay, we have a correct answer. Chris Watkins.
Yes,
29. Which Chris is it?
Wow.
All right, happy birthday. Let's try this one. Wow. Mark.
Brandanowitz.
Zuckerberg.
He's the guy on Parks and Rec.
I was like, I've heard that before.
I could probably even show you his picture and say his name, and you guys would be like, no.
Mark Twain.
Mark Daigneault, the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah. Whitey says he looks just like Frankie. I don't.
He does.
I don't see it.
Just like
Yeah, I don't see
Mark
it.
Daigneault.
He's young for sure. I'll say 37.
38.
That's what I wanted.
All right. We don't know
Why did you say
answer, but Chris is correct or closer. Christopher Ladd, 39.
I wanted to say that.
Mark Daigneault. All right. Happy birthday, Jamal
Crawford.
Tinsley.
Tinsley's on your mind. Jamal Murray, point guard of the Denver Nuggets. How old is Jamal
Man,
Murray?
a lot of basketball
Yes.
players today.
Let's see here. Jamal Murray we'll say Jamal Murray's 28.
Jamal Murray is 30.
Chris Watkins, closer, 27. All right, happy birthday, D'Angelo.
Russell.
Russell, yes, another basketball player.
Jeez, man. There's way too many basketball players born on this day. There's something to
February
it.
23rd, yeah. D'Angelo Russell is how old today?
Gotta do some math. Let's see here. D'Angelo Russell, well, he's going to be 20. He'll be 28.
27.
All right, we have an exact answer. Watkins, correct, 28.
I figured you out, Jason.
Yes.
I just want you to know I figured you out.
Yeah, how so?
Well, because it can't be, if D'Angelo Russell was 27, you would have linked him with the previous name.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
I figured you out, Jason.
Well, let's trick you.
You know?
Happy birthday to Emily
Blunt.
Emily Blunt, correct. How old is Emily Blunt today?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We'll say Emily Blunt is. This is John Krasinski's wife, yeah?
Correct.
Okay.
From Jungle Cruise.
Right.
From Jungle Cruise.
We'll say Emily Blunt is 42.
She's 44.
Watkins closer, 41.
Oh,
happy birthday
I almost said
to Bobby
Newport.
Fitzgerald. Jackson.
Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla.
Wow. Oof.
Creator of Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes, he created it.
Yes.
Not the Mets, but he did.
57.
59.
Christopher Ladd closer, 61.
Wow. He's not still getting paid, right?
Yeah, he's got a few more
Yeah,
years.
it's like 25 years, right?
Yeah, I think it's almost up, I think. Happy birthday. Let's finish. Let's see, where do we want to go? You guys tell me. Dakota Fanning, Josh Gad, Niecy Nash, Aziz Ansari, Tom Osborne.
Those are all tough.
I'll say Aziz.
Okay,
Yeah, let's do Aziz.
Okay.
Why not?
How old is Aziz Ansari?
I'll say 41.
Okay.
Wow, you think he's 40? Wow. Okay, I'll say 38.
We have an exact answer for Ladd, 41. He knows
Oh.
his Aziz Ansari.
Master of None is great.
Yeah. Do you want one to end then?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
Human Giant is fantastic.
Dakota Fanning, Josh Gad, Niecy Nash. Who else did they miss?
Dakota. We'll do Dakota.
Dakota Fanning is how old today?
if Aziz is 41, then I'm going to say Dakota is, I'll just say 40.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know how
Wait,
that
Dakota Fanning, she's like super young, right? She was like the child actress?
So she was, but that was a long time ago at this point.
I'm going to say 25.
So we have a 25 and a 40.
There's no way.
She's not 40.
Who do you think is closer?
I think I'm close. I think she's in her 30s.
But you said 40.
But I said 40.
Yeah. And he said 25.
Only because Aziz is 41.
All right. Dakota Fanning, happy 30th birthday today.
I hate you, Chris. I hate you so
All right. Well, we can make it up with Friday Fun and Games. Alan Stiles will be in here as well. We've got another game to play your way. That's coming your way next. You're on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
And I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABB.com.
Finding great technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Whether you prefer thrill or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than freshly baked and home-delivered crumble cookies.
We have finally made it to Friday.
Let's end your week the right way with Friday Fun and Games
on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, we're here. It is that time. Last segment of the week for me. Stiles and Watkins just getting started. We got Stiles in studio now. The much anticipated arrival of Alan Stiles in the Pooh Jetter story. Is this going to be worth our time?
I mean, we're gonna try. It might be you had
Is
to
it
be
for your
there.
show, or can you do it for here?
No, we can do it here.
We can do it here. We'll do it a little bit later. You got 5 hours, whatever it is, 4 hours.
Yeah,
you know,
got time to fill.
Yeah, what is it? 15 minutes. Whatever.
We do have time
say.
for that.
We do have time. Yeah, we'll run it back if depending on how it does here.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little appetizer.
Yeah.
So basically, if you listen to Stiles and Watkins, which you definitely should, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. every single day, basically
their whole thing. We've talked on this show, and Dave wants to be an honorary Zont. We joke about all that, and honestly, it wasn't necessarily about that. We were talking about actually playing basketball, and actually, no, how it started was who can hoop at the station, right? And we found out. I said, I think Dave might be an undercover hooper, and Chris reacted the same way he's reacting now, shaking his head. And then Whitey says how you guys played
all the time
back in the day, and we were like, oh, okay. And I'll let Whitey tell his stories about you hooping. There were some good ones, by the way, about you. So then we start saying, oh, well, who do you play like? Blah 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 blah. And I say, me, I'm more of a Ty Lawson, and we just start naming off smaller players, right?
Raymond Feldman.
Yeah, Raymond. I was like, have you ever seen Jameer Nelson play, right? All these guys, and somebody says, you ever seen Pooh Jeter? And me, I'm still trying to get used to all the Sacramento.
It's not your fault that you don't know.
Yes, right. So I say, no, I don't know who Pooh Jeter is, right? So everyone's, oh, you don't know Pooh Jeter? No, I don't know who this is. So they call someone over. They say, hey, Alan doesn't know who Pooh Jeter is. And this person maybe listens to the show. I don't know, right? Haven't really spoken to about the whole thing.
Without giving everything away, did you think that they were just making something up, like kind of joking with you? Or did you?
No. Okay. The name?
Yeah.
No. I didn't. I knew it was legit. So they call this person over, and the person, like I said, we don't speak a lot, right? And the person says, oh, you don't know Pooh Jeter? I'm like, no. And he goes, he's your type of guy. And we're all looking around. What do you mean? What do you mean, my type of guy? Right. Well, smaller guy, right? And everyone starts cracking up at the table. And it was like lightweight awkward because I tell Chris, I said, Chris, maybe he just listened to the show. And Chris is like, I don't think so. I
really don't think so.
And they were just like, like Earl Boy. So then I have to play it off. I'm like, Earl Boykins.
Yeah. He's like,
Earl Boykins. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, and then just walked away.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you know who this person was?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we just don't want to.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, exactly.
You can tell me off there.
You don't want to tell Frankie? You want to tell Frankie?
Yes. I don't want, Frankie gets enough.
Yeah, we could have a station. I don't know if we could have a station pickup game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you're right on Dave.
I don't. I just think he's a taller guy.
He's tall. He's taller.
Maybe, I could see him having
big for nothing.
Adam Sandler type jump shot, wears oversized basketball clothes.
Definitely there.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Part's accurate.
Up until
besides
the
the jump shot.
Yeah. He looks.
Remember when we did the whatever truths and a lie, and he said the judo thing? So maybe which was a lie, but maybe
jujitsu or whatever.
Jujitsu or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Whitey wasn't telling lies.
I heard
I've heard that story.
I heard Kyle is kind of a hooper. You know who I heard it from?
Kyle. Yeah. That was when I think Dave asked him to go dunk, and he put that on video. And he
oh yeah.
I mean, he tried. What? Did he dunk or no?
No.
I thought he did. I thought he
probably
could
told you he did.
No, he didn't. But I wouldn't say like he wasn't like.
It's not
way
that he wasn't
off.
close. It's
Right.
just,
Just he didn't do it.
Did he go back rim or did he get hung on the front?
Did he even get to the front rim?
He would get above
It was like
kind
a
of.
lay-in.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
he kind of got
touched the
like
rim.
his fingertips over, and it was like kind of like a.
He didn't throw it down.
Right.
And he would lose the ball a little bit sometimes too, going up. But that's
He's the dunker. We all know I can dunk a volleyball guy. He's the I can dunk a volleyball guy.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Consistency.
With consistency.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys, well, quickly, let's tell us what's coming up on the show today.
We're reacting to the Kings. Even sick. Sabonis is sick.
Yeah.
He's ill.
And honestly, the comparison of Sabonis to a Bay Area guy and Brock Purdy. I mean, no one's paying attention to some of these numbers. So we'll do that, and we'll get ready for the Sunday game with the Clippers. They haven't beat yet.
Right. Well, Chris, you know how to play this game. We're playing Wavelength again. I told you guys how this works. 10 is a great number. 1 is not a great number.
Probably something you should have started with.
And everyone else got it.
Everybody else got it.
So, Chris, you don't look. We're going to show a number here. Let's go with this for the room. Everybody got the number? Okay. We're ready. We're playing Wavelength. Chris, you're going to ask us questions and try to guess what the number is between 1 and 10 based on our answer.
Okay, for sure. Jason, can you give this to me as a UCLA just athlete?
UCLA athlete. Let's go with Tyus Edney.
Okay.
Did it help you?
I don't know if
I mean,
it
tells me It's not a 10, that's for sure. No shot at Tyus, but not definitely not. He could be. He could be. Verlad, give this to me in terms of. Oh, give me an ad that we've played throughout the years.
An ad?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it might be too hard. It might be too specific. But I wanted to give you a tough.
Okay, well, let me think. Let me go. This is like,
National Garage Door.
no, it's got to be something with a jingle.
Okay. Yeah, or
That
as a
has a
jingle.
jingle.
Just give me a jingle.
Like, the one that we used to have back in the day. The water. I would put that up there. with
Okay.
it.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
You know what? I'll say a Doug Goodfeet spot.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Gotcha.
Doug Christie could be.
Alan, give this to me as a. I'll give you an easier one. We'll say a shoe brand.
A shoe brand. Oh, it's easy. New Balance.
Oh
What's your
man.
guess?
Easy.
1 and 10.
Oh my
Easy
God.
watches.
I think we made this tough on you. What are you feeling?
I'm gonna say like 4 through 6.
Okay.
I'm leaning more 4.
Wow.
I think I'll say 5. I'll say 5.
Okay.
I'll say 5.
We did a poor job, I guess, in our end. The number is 7. What dropped you? New Balance?
New Balance for sure is like a 5, or
What?
it could be a 6. But also like New Balance. I mean, still there's like New Balance, which is like kind of a wave.
Right. I mean,
and
a
then there's
7
like
shoe-
New
Adidas
Balance
is too
like
high.
an old, like it's like
Adidas
it almost
isn't-
was like Skechers.
Adidas is an 8 to me. The problem is I couldn't help because I didn't
Right.
know the jingle, so I didn't know where your
Right.
head was.
Right.
Because I would have just pushed you up with an Adidas.
Doug Goodfeet had me at like a 6, maybe a 5.
You were never at 7.
Edney had me at like a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Is that too low?
De La Salle guy, I would have said Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would've got you.
That might have
Tell
been
me
my
one
fault for
You
the
do.
question.
All right.
Yeah, you tried to flip it on us.
Alan or Verlad? You guys,
Gotta
which
make
one
it
do you
fun.
I
want?
don't think I've been able to do
Okay.
it yet.
We'll have you.
Sorry,
All
Chris.
right. Chris, you can remember this. Okay. We got the number.
Oh,
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see it. Let's just go quick here.
Yeah.
Chris is in my ear. I hear you. Chip brand.
Chip brand.
Yeah.
Doritos.
Okay. Soda.
I'll say we'll do a Sprite.
This is high.
Okay. What are you feeling right now? Just
8.
Okay.
8, 9.
Okay. See if this helps you, Chris Verlad.
Verlad, let's do. I guess it's all relative, but hip hop musical artist.
Hip hop musical artist. Shut up.
Fred Durst.
I will say Dr. Dre.
Yeah, this is a
Very close. We were
All right.
8.
8.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Bumped you
Yeah.
up.
Bumped
Yeah,
you
'cause
too
you were
high.
right there. You were right there.
He's an 8 for me.
I felt
Okay.
good about Doritos.
I felt like Sprite might have been like a 9 or a 10.
Not
and that's
the
why-
Sprite
yeah,
really?
raised.
Yeah.
The Doritos, I was at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sprite said, I think we're going.
It could be, yeah.
And then, Dr. Dre, and they had, Super Bowl. Everybody liked that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like Dr.
Man.
Pepper have been better.
Starry, you love Starry.
Starry's like that's like a 6. I
With
do.
Sierra
I like
Mist.
Starry.
With Sierra Mist is a 7.
Oh, so what's an 8 for you? What would have been the number you're like, that's the 8?
Squirt. I love Squirt.
Squirt's like a 4.
Cut that.
Squirt and an Al Pastor burrito.
You're
That's
having
all
an
I
8
got.
day.
That's all I got.
You're having an 8 day.
That is a
Right
great
there.
Friday for me.
It's not the best, but it's a really good day.
That's right.
An 8.
That's right.
Well, we got a 10 show way next. Styles and Hawkins right here.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
That is he